last minute. Like Brittany and I figured that out like 2 hours before we came to your apartment. It was literally like, what are we gonna fucking do? I brought
buffalo chicken dip.
That was fire.
Amanda loved it.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, dude, I think there's a tad too much buffalo sauce. And she was like, no, I actually think it's fire. And I was like, wow.
Too much buffalo sauce?
Dude, I thought it was.
You thought that?
I know.
Right?
That's what she said. She goes, how do I think it's good? And you. And
you know what I did? I followed the recipe on the back of a Frank's Red Hot bottle.
That's solid.
I know that's what you said. Yeah, you're like, but I put way more than what it said. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
It's like that episode of Friends where like Monica's trying to figure out. Sorry, I've been watching Friends a lot recently. So it's like Monica's trying to.
Worst show.
I know. I'm not like a huge fan.
Well,
We watch regular show or Friends to go to bed too every night. And
you watch what?
Regular show.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Too old. You watch regular show?
I've seen like a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you.
Too old? Yeah, whatever.
But we watch that or Friends just like to fall asleep too. There's an episode where like Monica she's like, oh Phoebe, your grandma's recipe was so good for these chocolate chip cookies, and then grandma dies, and she's like trying to find the recipe the whole time, and it's on the back of the Nestle like chocolate chip bag.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She's like, well, it's from Nestle, like Nestle France.
No, guys, we watched the whole series one time because we watched. I mean, I've watched Office, Parks and Rec, New Girl, and then,
the like staples. You have to watch the whole.
And then
show.
Amanda was like, "Hey, like let's watch Friends." Like we both had a bunch of people tell us to watch that, and
yeah,
it was a good show. It had like the episodes where you laughed really hard, and then there was a lot where you're just like,
yeah, but that's like typical with most of those like everyday sitcoms.
Old day sitcoms too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I don't know, no idea, but it will be handmade.
It'll be delicious.
No, but I'm stoked.
I'm sure it'll be
You
delicious.
guys are going to enjoy it.
Kyle's a good cook.
Okay,
I'm,
cool.
I know
you're
I'm
a
sure
good cook.
we're gonna enjoy your shit.
Chicken wings
Thigh bites and
chicken quesadillas. Okay, so yeah, I'll
Maybe not chicken.
I'll find something to fit in with all of that.
Yeah. Every time we try to do potlucks, I'm like, I gotta do sliders of some sort. I gotta use King's Hawaiian rolls. I have to.
Yeah, one time we did like pinwheels, and like everybody brought their own pinwheels.
We did cheesesteak pinwheels.
And when I say everybody, they brought one, and I made two separate ones.
Yeah.
But hey, but they all came out good.
Yeah,
that was a fun one.
they were fun. What was the ones you made? Like
I did Italian, like
the Italian
style,
sausage ones were fire
with like bell peppers.
Oh, yeah, I love
And
Italian
then-
sauce sandwiches.
Amanda's, the ones that she made, was like it was like a BLTA ones.
Ooh, yeah,
and,
those are good,
and
though.
those were fire too. Yeah, those were really good. So
Brianna made Philly cheesesteak pinwheels. We made Philly cheesesteak pinwheels. They were pretty good.
dude, they were thick, bro.
Oh yeah, we used.
They were big slices. I loved it.
Do you know how impossible it is to roll? We use like the Pillsbury Crescent dough. Do you know how impossible it is to roll with like steak and like just roll that into a log? Shit's impossible.
I know, and that's where I messed up. Is I did my Italian ones with the tortillas because that's just what I saw online, and I grilled them, everything like that, and I served it with marinara. But what I would have done next time is do a crescent roll because that made yours so good.
Yeah, it was solid. It was just like impossible to fucking roll it up.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'll find something and I'll make sure it's tasty.
You didn't post that we were streaming tonight?
Yeah.
Did you?
just didn't tag me in it.
No, I tagged all three of us.
Oh, I didn't get a notification.
I didn't get a notification.
Did you post it?
I did.
No, I'm not seeing anything from Totally Talking Sports.
Damn.
Yeah. 2 hours ago.
Interesting. It doesn't show my.
Well, my whole app
just crashed.
My whole app just closed.
It's not good, dude.
Yeah, I did it 2 hours ago.
All right.
Now it has a your story with an exclamation point.
So it probably did not load.
It probably did not sound.
There's no story for Totally Talking Sports.
Upload failed. Try again. Hey, that's never happened.
We're crushing it. Is anybody in the chat right now? I know
me.
we're live.
Me.
That's fair.
Me. These other people, I don't. Alexis the Nexus, they don't leave. Alien
Well, hey,
Gathering,
they love us, and we appreciate you, Alexis the Nexus
Commander Root.
and Commander Root.
Those aren't real people because they would be showing up as we have 4 viewers.
Okay, guys. So I'm having some serious issues here. Are we
and
live?
Alien Gathering. Yeah, we've
Yeah.
been live for a couple
Oh, we
months.
have? Okay, cool. So we're having some issues. It's not loading at all. Can't get it to work. Same thing with the TikTok, by the way. 3 times. Try to do it on
Maybe
Saturday.
It's your phone.
It could be. So maybe I'll have Amanda download it and I'll try that too. But I was just going to get with my niece because she's fucking 16.
She's young.
Yeah, she's 16 and she posts TikToks all the time,
She's
dude.
young.
Yeah, so.
It's a good bet. Just
And she's
ask
in
someone
town.
that's young.
and she's in
so-
town. So that's why I was like, all right. But then my parents got COVID last week, so
It's worth it.
So they're kind of quarantining at the house, so I haven't went over to see them.
Just like video chat.
What is up with your family in COVID?
I mean, it's my dad's first time, my mom's first time, both
Oh, is
getting
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just I've gotten
You
it
guys,
twice, Amanda once.
Oh, okay.
So only a combined total of 5 times.
Yeah. I mean, I could have gotten it probably like 3 times.
I've never gotten tested. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I get sick and I'm like, I'm sick.
So the only reason why we get tested is because Amanda wants to, because of her mom.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. I have no one in my life that cares. So
Except for Brittany, and she doesn't care.
no, that's what I'm saying. Brittany doesn't care.
yeah.
She's like, yeah, whatever.
Brittany has a little sister, and so if we're just feeling sick, we just don't go over there,
Yeah, there you go.
and we never go over there anyways. So
It's okay, I'm not feeling good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. It's-
All right, I'll see you later.
I'm still gonna go to work, and then I go to work, and they're like, "Are you sick?" And I go, "No, I'm fine." And they go, "Okay." That's
Do
about
you
all that
know the
comes.
password for the Instagram? I don't know my password for Instagram. I want
Dude, I don't know any of my passwords.
Yeah, I
It
could.
says it's uploading now. It's the same one as
Oh, Kyle, log in, Tim.
we are live.
Don't tell people our passwords.
They don't know the number combination at the end.
Alexis, the Texas has been sitting there this entire time.
Hey, look, Toy Talking Sports messaged me in a story.
Yep, there we go. We are live, baby.
I'm gonna
Oh,
add
the
that to my
second one
story.
hasn't uploaded yet.
I'm gonna add that to my story real quick.
Yep.
There we go. We're live -1 minutes ago. Well, -6 minutes ago, probably. But all right, welcome back to Totally Talking Sports. This is episode 89? Question mark?
89.
89. Look at me being on top of
I didn't
things.
even put my stuff on there.
It's episode 89. Finally, we have. God, damn, Kyle.
I don't know what it is, dude.
That was a good one.
That's my first one all day. I think I shit myself on that one.
So we finally have some centralized topics. We're not just coming at you with our own things that we want to talk about each week. It is officially football season. We got college football coming at you this week. The next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some mock fantasy drafts. Not like actual fantasy football, but just like how we'd build our teams. If we had just a random draft of 3 teams, and we excluded 90% of the league. So that should be fun. and then we're gonna go from there with a bunch of other NFL topics. But this week is gonna be college football centered. So that should be fun. Before we get into anything though, Timmy, how you been?
Not bad. Jesse's still out of town. Just me and Bogey doing our thing. Went golfing on Sunday with Kyle, Ryan, and Jacob.
Lovely.
I played lights out and shot a 79.
Ooh.
Shot a 37 on the front.
Oh.
And then on the back.
The homeboy was draining everything.
I bet.
Not putts. I was draining par putts, but they were like 4-foot par putts. But my irons were unbelievable.
They were on fire.
Love it.
And so that was nice. But other than that, just hanging out with Bogey, chilling.
I got a question
drinking.
for you. What did I finish off at?
98, Kyle.
Broke
Broke
100.
Dude, I don't remember. I told Jacob I don't remember finishing the last 3 holes
You
at
did.
all,
impressive.
dude.
Did.
I got blacky blacked, man.
Yeah, you did.
On one of the holes, I was pulling up to it, and usually, we do like little hard stop to kind of drift.
Yeah.
But I didn't push the brake hard enough, and all I have is little glimpses of it. But
Oh, I looked back and Kyle was tumbling.
when I did it,
Kyle was tumbling in the fairway.
I was still going way too fast. So when I stepped out, I didn't break it. So my feet went out, dude. Jacob said I straight up scorpioned and just slid on my face like 3 yards. And then, dude, just bounced up, grabbed my fucking iron, shanked it, got back in the cart, and just kept driving, dude.
That's such a power move, though.
Yeah, no, that was nuts. Yeah, sorry. Anything else with you?
No.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I hijacked that one. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember how I did in the first. I remember I didn't do terrible in the first half, but I mean, I still think it was like a 40-something. So, I wasn't playing amazing, but I felt decent. Playing with Jacob. But yeah, no, I mean, Sunday was good. Went home and showered, and then threw up for like 7 hours.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely fucking dog shit. Terrible. Did not go to work on Monday. Threw up Monday morning. Started to feel good in the afternoon, and that was fine. And then today, woke up just feeling like absolute dog shit. So I don't.
Absence
Kyle's
of twisted
back to
tees.
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. If anything, you're back to normal.
True. Yeah, I am back to normal. I don't know what it was where I was on cloud 9 for like, I don't know, 7 weeks. Felt like 8 months. Probably only like 7 weeks.
It's probably only like 3 days.
True.
You've had COVID, you got surgery. What are you talking about?
That's true. No, yeah, my body's been falling apart, dude. And it just keeps happening. But yeah, so I mean, other than that, I mean, it was kind of rough for me. That's why I got my vitamin water. No alcohol for me today. Just, yeah, still feeling like shit all day today. And then, yeah, just having a good time. Bogey's got a bunch of string.
Oh, yeah, cool. He'll puke that up later.
That's fine.
That'll be fine.
Oh, he's going to shit it out, too.
That's fine. As long as it comes out one end.
Pull some strings.
Gonna pull that out of his butthole. But yeah, so yeah, Sunday was rough. Monday was rough.
To be fair, we've only had like 4 days in between recording, so like not a lot has happened. Anyways.
That's true, huh? That's true. Yeah. I was trying to think too. I was like, how was the rest of my week?
Brittany came home Friday night. I went and picked her up from the airport, brought her some crumble cookies, and she said, "Man, I've had 2 packs of crumble cookies since I've been gone." And I said, "Well, I'm the biggest piece of shit for bringing you crumble cookies in. I'm gonna eat all of them."
So you ate all of them?
Hold on. So you surprise her with crumble cookies and she complains?
Yeah, she was like, oh, "We had 2 6-packs while we were in Michigan," and I was like, "Right, which means you had like 2 cookies."
It's like, yeah, and I sat here hating my life while you were gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to share a fucking cookie with you.
Yeah, exactly. So picked her up like Friday, like 9 o'clock. Nothing too crazy. You know, didn't do anything over the weekend. We unpacked, kind of hung out. I had to work on Saturday, you know, for a little bit. And then Sunday we went and watched Where the Crawdads Sing. You guys read the book? Bet not.
No.
But I haven't either.
Well, that was...
It's not.
That was really quick to just assume that we had.
It's like a romance, not romance, but it's like a.
It's a romance thriller almost. I know what it's about.
It's a good book, very good book. Movie, very close to the book from what Brittany has told me. Great movie. I cried. It took a lot for me not to ugly cry in front of a theater full of strangers. It hit me hard. I'm also very emotional. I'm very in tune with my emotions, so I just kind of cry at most movies.
Monies?
Yeah, I cry at most movies that I watch inevitably. But it was a very solid movie. Had a great time. And then yesterday and today I just had to work. Nothing happened. Got yelled at by a customer for taking too long in drive up.
Ooh, I got called the N word with the hard R by a homeless dude at work the other day.
Was he of color?
No.
That's an interesting choice then.
He just said this stupid N word, and I was like, okay, well, this is the point where I'll call the cops.
Yeah.
I was letting him yell at me for a while, and I was just like, that's fine.
That's
whatever.
where I'll draw the line.
I've dealt with this before. Logan, you remember that one chick that wanted a cigarette? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just deal with it, you know? It's like, yeah, lay it on me.
Yeah, just go
then
for
he
it.
dropped the hard R, and I was like, well, you know, like, no.
Yeah.
Also, nowhere in the realm of like people who can use that word. You're saying it at someone that people like that would call that word. Like you're just throwing that word around for no reason.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
That's like it's like very. What are you doing here?
Yeah. So and then I called the cops, and he was like, fucking call him, and I was like,
Okay.
And so I started calling.
Cost me nothing.
And he's like, I'm not leaving, and I was like, you don't have
That's
to.
an interesting choice to go.
They'll
to,
make you
go to jail.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
So I called the cops, and I called 911, and so she was like, "Oh, is he being like violent?" And I was like, "No, not physically. Just being verbally abusive." And then he got like right over the bar, and then said the N-word, and she was like, "Yeah, I heard that. We'll send someone." I was like, "Thanks." She was like, "Hey, but if he leaves, give us a call so we don't have to come." And I was like, "Sounds good." And then he left, and I called him back and said, "Hey, don't worry about it." He left. But
they're always big until you actually do something, and then they're like, "Whoa, man, what's your deal?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing the cops?"
The thing was, he was loitering in the lobby. We don't have seating anymore. So I was like,
weirder.
I was like, hey, we don't have seats or anything like that, so you can't loiter, but you got your water, so feel free to head out. And then he blew up, and then he was like, I'm a customer, and I'm like, you got a free water.
You paid for nothing.
You are not a customer.
You can't even use the bathroom, dude.
And then he was like, you don't even care about me, and I was like,
no,
you're right, I don't.
It's true.
I don't, sir.
It's like, I'd be shocked. I'd be like, okay, what's your name, dude? What's your first fucking name? Yeah, no, people are fucking weird, dude.
People are dumb. This is downtown Reno, especially.
Yeah,
I don't have to deal with it as much. The people I have to deal with are like more like typically pretentious for no reason. The guy that yelled at me was trying to withdraw $10 from his bank account.
I need to withdraw $10.
Yeah, and then he didn't know how to open the tubes in Drive Up, and that's why he got mad at me. And I was like, "Oh, is it not open?" He goes, "No, it's not. You know what? Fuck this." And then he drove off, and I was like, "All right, dude. Like, not really.
$10 back.
No. It's just at that point you just tell him like, yeah, that's right. You can't go to the ATM and withdraw 20, huh? Probably because you have 17 in your account.
Yeah, I was like,
you need me. Is the tube open?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience to get yelled at for that, but it was whatever. Other than that, I've been chilling. It's been dead at work like normal. I got nothing really going on. So yeah, let's just jump into some sports. Is much better than last week already.
What do you mean?
We spent 45 minutes talking about
Yes.
Introductions and then like another hour in sports news.
Everything was
and then Tim and I yelled at each other for I did some self-reflection. Kyle was 100% right. Neither of us would budge an inch.
No.
And we were just yelling at each other when we were not disagreeing on much. So
Yeah, there was like a couple key points that you guys were disagreeing on, but you guys are
the overall consensus was the same.
Yeah.
So, but it's fine. It made,
I don't
made
know
for
about
some.
that.
Okay, we're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna get into it. We weren't that far apart.
I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, it made for some quality content. So Kyle, why don't we jump into some sports news we did not know we cared about?
All right. As always, NFL 49ers have officially moved on from Jimmy G and are going with Trey Lance.
Love it.
While Debo says that he's hopeful that his contract issues will be resolved in time.
Sure.
I mean, they said Jimmy G, man, he's too good. We are not going to just release him. We're only going to take trades. Nobody wants Jimmy G.
His trade value is at the floor because they've already named their starting quarterback.
Absolute bottom. So now they've completely given up hope on that. And
they're going to get like a fourth rounder for him. They're going to get less than they're probably going to get less than what the Panthers got or than what the Browns got for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, because
they might get a fourth, and I feel like if they did
leverage.
get a fourth, that would be great for the Niners. Like they're like, oh, we actually got a fourth for you. Like we were expecting a fifth.
Yeah, they're not getting like any players in this deal. They're not getting any like significant draft picks. They're getting like, hey man, you told us you don't want him on your team anymore. You know, that's I'm not giving you anything
you have
more than
zero
I need to.
leverage.
I'll give you a conditional 5th round pick. Have fun with that.
Yeah. You are going with the guy that has no NFL experience, really, and played in college against
Against nobody.
Yeah, against nobody. And you're going to take him over this guy?
That's fine.
And you want me to give a lot for that guy? Not going to happen, bud.
And that's the thing. Like Jimmy G, regardless of what you like, I don't think he's an amazing quarterback. I think he's good enough, though.
Yeah.
I think he makes good enough plays. Got the team to a Super Bowl and an NFC championship. Mm-hmm. That's not like and yes, there's a lot of it's carried by the defense and the run game and the scheme of the team, but he doesn't make bad decisions very often.
Yeah.
It's like maybe you do give Trey Lance another year. But they're just like, nah, we're committed to sucking for a year if it happens, and if Trey Lance can hit the ground running, then that's great, but we're going to take the chance, and that's fine. I just don't know about saying you're moving on from him as far as getting anything in return.
Exactly. Joe Burrow is having his appendix removed.
Tough.
The recovery time is unclear for him. The normal person can go back to normal day activities after like 2 to 4 weeks. As far as physically training to a professional sport level.
He might just miss preseason. I bet he's there for week 1.
And I 100% agree because he has more access than the average person.
He doesn't need to play preseason either. It's his team.
Seattle Seahawks releasing veteran running back Chris Carson as he plans to retire from the NFL due to his neck injury.
I love how they went about it. They released him on like a failed to meet his physical. Like that's what they released him on. He's still going to get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Because of it being medically related. They did good by him, and he did good by them. That's like the most peaceful, like, hey, understood, we're gonna just move on, that I've ever seen in the NFL.
100%. Yeah, because like you said, he's still getting all of his financial benefits from doing it.
Our drink.
Justin Jefferson is aiming to have a 2,000 receiving yards season. That would be a first in NFL history.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
I mean, I think it's novel that he's like aiming for it. I mean, aim high.
Hey, I mean, I definitely think it could happen. His rookie year, he went, what was it, 1,300 or
Kirk
something?
Cousins does spread out the ball a little bit more. Matthew Stafford literally only looked for Cooper Kupp 90% of his dropbacks, and Cooper Kupp got to 1,900.
And the same thing with Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Stafford went, well, I got that guy, so let me hit him for every pass. And I mean, I don't know. He had like 300 yards, 400 receiving yards increase from rookie season to last season. I think he did like 1,650 or something like that. But that's with him not missing a single game. So I mean, he has 350 more yards to go. Which is
he went
easily
1,400 his rookie year, 1,600 his sophomore year.
Yeah, so 400 more yards. I mean, I think that's doable.
It is, but he also
it's a
shares a field with Adam Thielen, which is like a better number 2 receiver than. I mean,
Robert Woods was hurt.
Yeah, Robert Woods was hurt. You had OBJ, but also OBJ
we had OBJ at the end too.
Yeah,
not even at the beginning.
That's the thing, and the same thing with the Lions. Like the Lions didn't have a number 2 receiver, so. Take it with a grain. I think it's a great idea to shoot for it.
I agree.
And if he wants to shoot high, that's fantastic, and go get your numbers.
Why settle for 2K and not go for 4K?
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna shatter this record.
Why not try to go for
I'm gonna average 400
yards
a game
per game and try to go for 17,000 yards?
Dude, Kirk Cousins would be the happiest man alive.
Probably the richest after that too.
Yeah, they'd pay him $1 billion.
Yeah.
Like off the books, they're like, we're just gonna give you $1 billion signing bonus right now.
Yeah, they pay
because they win
Bitcoin,
the Super Bowl,
and then they would tank Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, Bitcoin would crash immediately.
Yeah,
they're like, we're not paying Kirk Cousins.
Bitcoin would be like, no, we're not that dumb.
You guys have left me speechless. I can't process everything that was just said.
Okay.
Julio Jones
Boo
signs a 1-year deal with the Bucks.
Jesus Christ!
I got the notification. I was like, of course he did. Of course, because why not?
Oh my fucking!
He was
God,
talking to the Colts and the Packers, which like makes sense, are like contending teams that need receivers, and he was like, or I can go play with fucking Tom Brady and be the 6th receiver on this team.
Wow, go with Matt Ryan to the Colts.
Yeah, that would have made so much sense.
Yeah, that would have been
go
crazy.
play with the Colts, get back with Matt Ryan, even go play with Aaron Rodgers, like again one of the GOATs. I get it, you're still playing with Tom Brady, but he's still behind Mike Evans and behind Chris, like off of his production
Godwin,
last year.
yeah.
Like if he can get back to Julio form, he'd probably be the best receiver on that team. If he can get back to like prime Julio form, which I think he's a little too old to do, but he can probably fit between Godwin and Evans if he's back to like his prime at this age.
Especially as a wide receiver 3. I mean, he's gonna get so many looks.
And Godwin will probably still play out of the slot, and they'll have Julio on one side, Evans on the other, and that's deadly. But I'm like, I just don't know how well it will work with how he played last season.
I completely agree. I remember we talked about it. I don't know if the details came out for the last episode, but Kyler Murray signs a 5-year deal, $230.5 million.
Not allowed to play video games.
With $160 million guaranteed under one condition. Must study a minimum of 4 hours of film per week.
So yeah, I heard more about that stipulation in the contract, that clause, is that he already does 4 hours of independent study. That's what he says.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I think that's the Cardinals saying, okay, then you wouldn't mind if we threw it in the contract.
And he was like, no,
right?
not at all.
Like, if you already do it, wouldn't be a problem if we threw it in the contract, right? And he's like, no. Why would that be? He's like Jamarcus Russell over here, you know? They're going to give him tape, and he's going to be like, I loved every play. And they go, yeah, there was nothing on the film. So your contract is null and void, and we owe you nothing.
Yeah, that just kind of blew my mind because, I mean, you're an NFL quarterback. For me, I thought 4 hours was so low.
It's 40 minutes a day per week.
So low.
That's nothing. Guys like Brady, Manning, Rodgers, like those guys go in hours before the rest of the team shows up every day and do independent film work and study film. Even like top players that aren't quarterbacks, like Luke Kuechly would watch hours of film by himself. Like
that guy was so good.
Yeah, like if you're one of the top players, if I'm going to pay you as the second highest paid quarterback in the league, I shouldn't have to put in the contract that you're going to study by yourself.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
That's a huge
big
red flag.
And I know it's been everywhere. It's every morning on NFL Network. Every single time I get in the car, it's on the ESPN radio. And my whole thing is like, it just makes the Cardinals look even more foolish that they had to pay
him that much.
Yes.
And then put in the contract, hey, you need to watch film.
He's wide
in 4 hours. It wasn't 10 hours. It was 4 hours.
Like, hey, we're just asking you for 4 hours a week.
Like, please give us maybe an hour a day.
He could knock that out on Saturday.
He could knock that out in one day. Watch 4 hours of film.
Yeah, just wake up at fucking 5. Go in, watch your 4 hours, then practice.
You're chilling.
Yeah, no blows.
Well, even on Saturday, they're probably not practicing. You just have 4 hours just sit in a room and study.
And then take some notes.
Yeah, I saw a picture on Facebook too.
You could play video games afterwards.
Another stipulation was that he had to be in before the lights or before it was dark outside. Once the street lights were on, he had to go inside. That was part of the stipulation. And he had to be in bed by 9. I was like, all right, guys, this is ridiculous. Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold both said they are cool with competing for the starting position.
I don't really have a choice.
Yeah, they're cool with the competition.
What is either one of them going to say? I don't want to compete and then not get the job.
And then they're like, okay, well, guess what? You're not going to compete. Go ahead and ride the fucking pine.
Well, it's funny because they're both trash, but then I bet they're both going, I'm better than that guy.
Well, they
are definitely.
They definitely are.
That.
I'm better than that guy for sure.
They're definitely both saying that. And guess what? They both have not a bad argument.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, my biggest thing too with Baker too, because I told you guys, I was like, yeah, he's used to having a team with a strong running back core and all that, but he wasn't able to perform well with the Browns, with the offense that they had. It was stacked with how many weapons they had. And now he's going to a team that is nowhere near the same.
Well, if they're healthy, I would say they compete with the Browns. Not like running back depth wise, but Christian McCaffrey, using him out of the backfield, if he can stay healthy for a whole year. Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore are good receivers.
They were good, but I don't think they were Odell and Jarvis Landry.
That's fair.
In my opinion.
That's fair.
But it's like...
Well, Jarvis Landry hasn't produced in like 4 years.
No, he has not. Yeah,
that's really like...
Every season, I'm like, oh, dude, Landry, dude. He's going to blow up this year.
If he doesn't do anything in New Orleans, I give up on him.
Yes.
Like, if he doesn't produce at wide receiver 1 numbers, if Michael Thomas is back, then like wide receiver 2, like significant numbers, I give up on him. Because he hasn't done anything in the last 4 years.
Completely agree.
We gave him 1 year in Miami, and now it's
I think either way, it doesn't matter who wins that job, Panthers are going to suck.
Oh, yeah. They should suck on purpose and try to get a good quarterback.
And then Indianapolis Colts linebacker Darius Leonard wants to go by middle name Shaquille. He said that it's his middle name. That's what his mom calls him, his friend calls him, his family calls him.
All right.
Darius makes him think he's in trouble. He said that when he went in there to the league, Jerry Rice gave him a piece of advice and said, hey, don't talk, just listen and keep your eyes open and work hard. So he said he didn't want to seem pretentious pretty much, coming in asking for demands of calling me a different name. He said, but being in here now for 5 years, or going into his 5th season, he's like, now it's time for me to just be like, he doesn't like it. He feels like he's in trouble. And
okay.
You know,
yeah,
so
and
he's
that's
going,
fair.
Shaquille Leonard. Right
yeah,
on.
so the 3 names he's allowed to be called is Shaquille,
Shaq,
D, or Maniac.
Okay.
Why Maniac? D? Okay.
Yeah.
D.
Why not Shaq?
Darius?
Yeah, I know Darius, but like, why not Shaq?
Because D's nuts.
Nice.
Nailed it.
Yeah, so jumping over to NBA. KD for Jalen?
No. I hate everything about Jaylen Brown's pissed off now, and I hate our front office for doing this at all.
Yeah. For
like,
even in talks with it, because you have to give up Jaylen Brown or
plus
Jason
like
Tatum.
4 draft picks.
Yeah.
And they're not going to give up Tatum, but you have to give up so much draft capital. What the Nets are asking from every team is fucking ridiculous. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we'll trade Kevin Durant, who doesn't want to play here, and we're not going to let him go for anything less than like 2 All-Stars and 4 first-rounders.
And guess what?
You're not getting that.
KD will stay with you guys until the end of his contract and be like,
no, he'll stay for no. He won't even to the end of his contract. He'll stay here for 2 years. He'll give it 1 season, doesn't work. Halfway through the 2nd season, thinks it's not going to work, and he's like, I want to go somewhere else. I want to play for the Warriors.
Yeah,
like that's what he's going to do. And it's like I don't want that. I would rather have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are 24, 25 years old. I'd rather have them for the next decade. And let the 2 of them be in their prime. And someone was like, oh, you have KD still in like the prime of his career for like 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, I don't think he's in the prime of his career for 2 or 3 more years. I think he's still amazing.
Yeah.
Prime of his career for 2 or 3 more years? I don't think so. And I would rather take Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together in the prime of their career for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And then we can build around that and go off of that as opposed to... And we have Malcolm Brogdon, who I think we addressed exactly what we needed to in the offseason. We got a point guard that can contribute down the stretch. We were not that far off from a fucking championship this past year. Like, we were because it's the Warriors. But we made the finals.
Yeah. I was going to say, not at all. You're in the finals.
Yeah, and like the Warriors
and it went to game 6. It's not like it was a sweep.
Yeah, but they kicked our ass. No, it went to game 5.
Oh, it was game 5?
Yeah, it was game 5. And they kicked our ass. And don't get me wrong, I understand that. And Steph went ballistic, and he deserved everything that he got. We didn't have a guard that could contribute in.
It was game 6.
No, it was game 5.
Yeah, because they beat you guys in Boston.
In game 5. We won one. We won one in Golden State, and then we lost both in Boston.
You guys had home field advantage?
Was it 5? Was it 6? Was it 6?
I think it was 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, because we played in Golden State to start.
About to go to game 7, and I told you I was like, they're not gonna let it go to game.
That's
7,
fair. That's fair. Okay, so still game 6, but it was like a respectable game 6. It was like the Warriors were like, all right, we're gonna stop now. We got a game in Golden State early. Was it game 1 that we got?
Yeah.
In Golden State, and then we won game 3 in Boston, and then we lost the next 3, and it was like, all right, that's fair.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's the thing is like we addressed the number one need for this team in getting a point guard that can facilitate an offense and not turn the ball over every fucking possession, which was our biggest struggle. Why we would need to trade.
What time did you get? Hold on. What time did you get here?
Like 6.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 6.
Start when we start.
It was like 6:15, I think, when he got here, 6:10ish.
I need time to come down.
No, it was like 6:15, 6:20 when he opened up his first one.
We had to find thumbtacks.
Yeah, we looked 15 minutes for those 2 thumbtacks.
Did you guys find them?
Yeah,
we found them both.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then within 15 minutes, he was already down with one tall boy.
Yeah, so, regardless, I just don't like it because I think giving up a young core, a young piece of this team for Kevin Durant for probably 2 or 3 years, you have to win a title in those 2 or 3 years. Otherwise, there's no justification for giving up the future of your franchise. And people are like, oh, well, then you still have Jason Tatum at like 26 years old and Kevin Durant leaves, and then you can go from there. And I'm like, now you're rebuilding a team around a 26-year-old Jason Tatum. And he'll be in the prime of his career, and you won't have that good of a draft pick, and you're trying to fucking find someone else. And it makes no goddamn sense. You're trying to find
another Jaylen Brown.
Exactly.
What percent likeliness do you think this is?
From what I've heard, this trade is weeks old, and it's just now coming to light, because that's usually how this works. It's like the teams talk, and then it doesn't come to fruition, and someone is like, someone from the Nets front office is like, we tried to get Jaylen Brown, and the Celtics like offered him, but not enough. And then the guys run with that story.
Nice socks, Logan.
Thanks. I wore them 2 weeks in a row. People asked me at work today. They were like, oh, nice socks. And my manager went, is that a child with underwear? And I said, no, that's weird. It's a moose.
You should have just been like, no, that's weird, but yeah, it is. And then walked away.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's a moose. And it says
weird
all moose.
that you noticed so fast, dude.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
So no, it says all moose naked. And she was like, nice. But yeah, no, I hate everything about this. I think getting Kevin Durant does not move the needle for this team enough. Realistically, like, yeah, is Kevin Durant better than Jaylen Brown right now? Sure. I don't care about not winning a title this year.
Yeah.
Or the next 2 or 3 years.
You care about your team growing with those 2 All-Stars.
Exactly. I'm like, I'd rather have a young duo that have played. And if I'm Jaylen Brown, I wouldn't want to play in Boston anymore because I feel like every time a superstar is up for a trade, we're like, we'll give you Jaylen Brown. And the team is like, no thanks. And Jaylen Brown's like, why do you keep trying to get rid of me? Like I think when his contract's up, he's not going to re-sign here. And we're going to get fucked either way.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Because he's like, well, you guys kept shopping me every offseason. Every free agent that came up, every big player that wanted to trade, you guys were like, well, we can't give up Jason Tatum, but we'll give you up. Why would he want to keep playing for us? Makes no fucking sense. I hate how they're handling it.
No, I agree. Okay. Sharif O'Neal, Shaq's son, signs a 6-year figure contract with the G League Ignite.
Good for him.
Yep.
He won't make the NBA. He's not good enough. But kid had like open heart surgery at like 19 years old when he was going to UCLA. The fact that he's anywhere close to the NBA, a lot of it because of his dad. But the fact that he's anywhere close is in itself like a miracle.
Yeah, but if he wasn't even like anything good, like they wouldn't have signed him. Like at least he's got some talent.
Yeah, he's got some talent.
He's got talent enough to play in the G League.
Yeah,
he's what, 6'10", right?
Yeah, he's up there.
Plays big man.
Yeah, he's very skinny for a big man, and he can jump pretty high. You know, he's got good vertical and he's good athleticism wise, and like he can shoot a little bit. But he's got a lot of work to do, and hopefully in the G League, working against some good talent, maybe he can get a lot better and maybe make a roster. That'd be
good. Monty Williams and the Suns are working on finalizing an extension. Back-to-back Coach of the Year. Coming up with, I think he has 2 years left on his 5-year deal already. And they're going to be working to extend that.
Well, it makes sense.
And then Charles Barkley.
I know.
Is going to be a golf commentator?
Maybe.
So he said, so he's got 3 years, $30 million left on his contract with TNT, and a lot of commercials, I guess. And he said that's where a lot of his money comes from. And he said they would have to offer me something huge for me to just abandon my life right now, because he's very happy with what he does. I mean, the article that I read between the estimated thing would be like at least 75 mil is what would have to be offered. I don't know where they got that number, but that would shake shit up, huh?
I mean, a little bit. It just Charles Barkley wouldn't be on TNT right now. LIV is not like a big enough like watching party, Like it's not on television right now. I mean, like it's not like it's on Golf Channel.
Yeah.
Nor will it ever be on Golf Channel. Maybe LIV strikes a deal with someone like CBS, NBC, and they have it on like NBC Sports,
Amazon maybe,
or Amazon. Maybe Amazon signs LIV gets a deal with Amazon, or maybe Apple, or one of those
of the streaming
services where they get that kind of deal. But until then, LIV is just throwing money at the wall and seeing if it sticks, and that's fair. Like, they just signed. LIV also just signed David Faraday. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's been a huge. He was a member of the PGA Tour, and now he's like the Scottish guy that does like commentary during golf. And if you ever watch golf, you would notice. But they signed him, and so that was kind of a big hit in my eyes to the PGA Tour. I loved listening to David Faraday during tournaments. But until they get like a major TV deal. It's gonna be. It doesn't mean much. Like Charles Barkley, if he gets paid, he gets paid. But at the same time, it's like good for him. But like until he's like, until the LIV's like in the eyes of the world, which right now it's not. Like sure, it's like a thing right now.
People know of it, but they don't watch it.
But like no one's able to watch it because like the only way you can watch it is on their website right now.
Do you have to pay?
I don't know because I haven't gone and tried.
Yeah, I wonder if it's like you have to like pay a monthly whatever for their website, or if it's just like
you might.
Please watch.
Yeah.
We'll run ads.
I went on the LIV website once, and it was when I did that deep dive into it and got the form out off it and got those kind of things. So, but they haven't had a tournament since the one right before the Open. I don't know when their next one's slated to be, but I guess maybe after that, maybe I'll look into it and see where you can watch it. But right now, you can't really. It's not on a big enough stage to be watched.
Yeah. I think if they offered Charles Barkley a stupid high,
they will
amount, $150 million, I still honestly think he would turn it down. I don't know why he would go join the LIV to commentate.
He loves commentating golf, though.
He loves golf. He's not good at it, but he loves it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that'd be crazy for him to just switch things.
It would be way less
NBA.
work for way more money.
That is definitely true for sure.
Like then I don't understand why he would turn that down. Like I get it, he loves the NBA and he
at
probably
what
loves
point
working with the
does
TNT
that much
crew.
Extra
But
money means something to you.
He's already made a lot,
When
and that's
you're
fair.
just, I guess it would. Yeah, I guess it would come down to which one would he want to do more.
Yeah, and at this point, he's been
golf.
commentating basketball, or like doing post game shows and halftime shows for basketball for so many years.
He might just want to start chilling and make a bunch of money. Like a lot of these golfers, they're just like, I play golf less, and you're gonna
pay me
like
more.
Phil Mickelson's like, I was gonna join the PGA Tour Champions, tour and go play there, but you guys are just gonna pay me $200 million to go and
not place at all,
and like there's no cuts, so like no matter what.
I also get paid more than that.
Yeah, I'm just getting a $200 million bonus, signing bonus, let alone what I make.
It's like okay,
wow,
So
it's unfathomable.
They're
right
setting
now how much
fire.
money they're putting into this, and I think it's just gonna tank.
No, and see, then that's the thing, and I'm kind of waiting for that, but what they need is they need a big TV deal. And if they get a big TV deal, not saying like I don't think it's ever going to surpass the PGA Tour, but at least then there'll be some type of revenue incoming.
Yeah, the thing is, like, they're already on the hook. I don't know how. Has anyone said like how many years these contracts are for?
No, certain ones have like certain amount of events they have to play,
and that's fine. But it's like,
there's no.
Regardless, how many billions of dollars are they on the hook for already?
A lot.
And it's like, you have to pay them. They've signed contracts. You have to pay these guys, even if everything goes under. And you're like, we have to stop the whole fucking tournament. We have to stop the whole competition. Cool. You still owe me $200 million.
Well, that's the thing, though. The fucking fund that they're tapping into is like $400 billion.
And that's fine. But it's like, I know Saudi like oil money is dumb.
I mean,
but like that's the thing is, it's like, and that's probably why they did it in the first place, because it's like, this means nothing. We lose a couple $1 billion. It's not that big.
If you added everybody together so far that they've paid bonuses to and paid out,
no, it's.
I was gonna say
it's not $1 billion yet.
I was probably gonna say 3/4 of $1 bill.
No,
maybe?
no. It's probably up. We're near probably 3/4 of $1 bill.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you just said.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why. Yeah. Or maybe it's $1 billion.
Yeah,
It might be
because
1 billion.
1/5 of it went to Phil.
And then
But then everybody else was like 100 or
no,
75 or 50
Greg Norman
or 20.
got like half of that. Greg Norman signed like a $300 million, $500 million contract.
Okay, well if
Just be the face of it.
okay, well if that's true, then yeah, that's definitely over $1 bill because that's already like 500 million right there.
And then they committed all the tournaments. So maybe it's $5 billion, maybe it's 10. But guess
5
what? They
billion,
have 425 of bills to play with.
It's just a drop in the bucket, dude. That's crazy.
It's some chump change to that Saudi fund. Yeah. And eventually, don't get me wrong, eventually, like if they're not making money,
They'll cut it.
and like it gets up to like 100 bill, Saudi might be like, okay, we're kind of like over this. Like we'll,
we have to pay out what we have.
We will.
They're just gonna behead Mickelson. Like, you haven't won anything yet, bro.
Yeah,
we thought you'd win at least one.
We'll pay out the contracts, but after that, we're
the
done.
hits on like the top golf players.
All of them just get taken out.
Oh my god!
You don't join.
Like, we don't have to pay them if they're dead.
Oh, family, you might have to pay.
Is that in the contract?
Yeah, it's in the contract.
It'd be foolish for them not to sign a contract that gets their family paid if they die.
Okay, well,
but also, would you sign a contract if that was a clause in there?
I did, the military.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
But I mean, hey, if they're going to be willing to take out someone as famous as Phil Mickelson, I'm sure the rest of the family's light work. After that,
mysteriously, the whole Mickelson name dies.
Yeah, though, just every bloodline gone. All right, jumping over to MLB before we get too fucking crazy with this. Jackie Robinson Museum opens in Manhattan after 14 years of planning. His wife of 100 years old was the one to cut the tape. She's sitting in a little wheelchair in like 88-degree weather. His 76-year-old daughter also attended in a wheelchair. And then his son, he was like 70-something, and he did like a little speech and, said, hey, what Jackie meant to the game of baseball and just the country, as everything was steaming over. So the museum's open. I don't know exactly what it's filled with. Obviously, Jackie Robinson stuff.
Well, it's probably also
maybe like this timeline and other stuff that happened.
I'd imagine a lot of like things with like firsts with black players and like the Negro League and things like that are probably filled in that museum.
And that's what I was thinking too. Like hockey.
And so
and all
congrats to the Robinson family and just the game of baseball for getting that thing finally opened.
Yeah.
Yep. New York Yankees star Stanton placed on 10-day IL with Achilles tendonitis.
Sure.
Whatever, he's hitting like 240 or like 220.
Did make the All-Star game, did win the All-Star game for the AL, so good for him.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, he can hit dingers.
Ain't that the truth? MLBPA rejects MLB's proposal for international draft. The absence of a draft means the qualifying offer system and the international signing period will each remain as is. The two sides proposed a total of 4 offers this month, including 2 last weekend, and were far apart on the amount of money that would be guaranteed to the future international amateur players. $69 million was the smallest gap offered so far. That was the closest they've come between the first one, second one, first one.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're not even close to coming in with an agreement. And I believe we hit the deadline for that.
Yeah, it was today.
It was
the last
today, right?
offer the MLB made, and it was rejected probably immediately because it was like, I got a notification that was like, oh, the MLB is expected to make their final offer. Both sides are extremely far apart on negotiations. And I was like, yes, they're going to make an offer that's like, they probably made a big old fuck you. We moved down from our last offer, actually, because we're not going to get closer.
It was 69, then they offered an $88 million gap. And then updated power rankings. We got Dodgers at 1, previously
Yankees
at 2.
Sliding for sure.
Yankees at 2, Astros 3, Mets 4, Braves 5. Got the Red Sox at 16.
Slide.
Previously at 13.
We lost a lot to the Blue Jays.
And we have the Angels at 23. They were previously at 22. So
staying pat.
So we both slid back.
Beating the Royals pretty bad tonight.
Jumping over to NHL. San Jose Sharks hired David Quinn. Dude was trash with the Rangers a couple seasons ago, going 96, 87, and 25 in 3 seasons with them previously. Yeah, it's well under 500. LA Kings to retire Dustin Brown's number 23 next February.
Sure.
You guys know I hate the Kings, but it's becomes one of those players that you have to respect because he always bent us over. He was a great hockey player.
Every team has that guy or those guys where it's like they meant a lot more to that franchise than they really did to the NHL, but that franchise has to do good by them.
Yeah, I mean he helped take them to 2 Stanley Cups. So and win.
Licking my socks.
Yeah, like
he was doing it to me earlier.
He's a licker, okay?
I'm fine with licks, but my socks is weird.
Kachuk smells of cats and wants to lick your cats.
Kachuk was introduced by the Panthers as a news conference on Monday, having signed an 8-year, $76 million contract extension. Florida acquired the 24-year-old forward and a conditional 4th-round draft pick for star forward Jonathan Huberdeau, defenseman Mackenzie Weegar, and prospect Cole Schwint, and Florida's lottery-protected first-round selection in the 2025 NHL draft. Kachuk came out and said, I hated Edmonton, because he's from Calgary. He said, I hated Edmonton, and now I hate Tampa more. So the Edmonton and Calgary, the Battle of Alberta, now it's like the Battle of Florida between Tampa Bay and Florida Panthers.
Haven't the Panthers been good for like 1 year?
A couple years. But they just picked him up, and he said, nah, fuck Tampa. So he's ride or die with his team, dude. I respect it.
I respect it, too.
Yeah, just showed up day 1 and went, dude, I fucking hate Tampa Bay.
Who do we hate?
Dude.
I hate them the most.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did. All right, jumping over to MMA. Dana White responds to Logan. Our Logan responds to him in an interview after recent comments that Logan has made about him giving money to the Nelk boys because he gave Kyle, whatever his face was, $250,000 for his birthday.
Yeah.
Dana White said, Logan, go fuck yourself. Count your own money.
It's my money. I can do what I want with it. That's cool. Pay your fighters with it, dumbass.
Yeah.
No one's going to watch your sport in a couple of years if you're not paying your fucking fighters.
A lot of backlash to Dana, and Dana literally said, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks.
And that's fair.
These guys are cool. These guys have done a lot.
These guys promote my whiskey that would go under if they didn't promote it.
Yes.
So I appreciate him, and I give him $250 million because without them, I would be losing money hand over fist.
Dana, I think we just got to get you on for an interview so you and Logan can hash this out, and we don't have to trade back week for week. Because, good for you. Yeah, no, and I'm pretty sure he's allergic to everything now because his tongue is always swollen.
Yeah.
And he's always talking like this now, and I don't know what's going on with that guy. Alexander Volkanovski on standby for UFC 280. Alvera versus Makhachev title fight backup in Abu Dhabi. If either Alvera or Islam can't make it, they miss weight, they're injured, they back out, whatever it is, Volk's there to fight in October.
Love it.
Volk, my guy.
I love that, actually.
I fucking
That's
love
immediately
that.
like, hey, you decide you wanted to get an immediate shot for this title, which he deserves after his domination at his weight class. Then it's like, yeah, if either one of them, for whatever reason, injury, illness, whatever happens, go ahead, step in.
Boom. Because right now the title is vacated.
Exactly.
And this isn't for interim. This is for the title.
If it wasn't vacated, I don't think you could do this.
No, it'd be way harder.
Because if it wasn't vacated and say it was like
Then it'd be
Oliveira's
interim.
belt, if it was Oliveira's belt and it was like, okay, he can't go because he's sick, you can't give someone a new belt because of that,
no.
You know? So I'm totally fine with this. I love this act.
I fucking love it, dude. Because that'd be major. That'd be major if the Oliveira Islam fight couldn't happen on 280, because that's what this is based on right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be major, dude. If we had this major card and something like that happened, well, now it'd be like no, we're still having this fight.
Yeah, this fight is still happening.
Yeah, so I absolutely love that.
Holly wants some classes, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Imagine if they both get sick and they're like, "All right, Holly, vote for the belt
for the lightweight belt." All right. People are very upset about the Diaz and Khamzat fight.
Yeah.
Dan Hardy and Leon Edwards both spoke about it. Dan Hardy said he thinks it's an assassination on Diaz because this is his farewell fight, pretty much. This is him leaving the UFC. Yeah, but people don't think it should happen.
It shouldn't, but if that's
Leon
what the guy
Edwards
wants.
thinks it's absolutely disgraceful that they're treating Diaz this way.
Wow, no, that's a dumb take. Nate Diaz was like, I only want to fight Khamzat.
I didn't see that, so I didn't.
That's
know.
like all he was like. He was
so
like, you got to give me
that.
a fight. You got to give me fucking Khamzat.
Oh, see, okay, then I didn't see that part. Then I don't know why everybody else is all freaking out about it. Because Dan Hardy called it an assassination, and Leon said it's in quote fucked up what they're doing to him for his like goodbye fight, pretty much. Because they just think it's gonna be a massacre.
Did they think Nate Diaz wanted to fight like a nobody? Like knowing Nate Diaz, he's fucked up in the head from a lot of brain injuries. But he's also just a dog.
And he's just stupid, too.
He's also just a dog, and he wants to fight whoever he fucking can. He doesn't care what they're ranked. I could knock anybody out, which he probably could. And he could take a punch from fucking anybody, and that's fair. He's going to take a lot more than he gives out. That's usually what happens. But like this isn't a fight that Nate Diaz was like, I want another fight, and they were like, here's Khamzat, and he's like, well, that's fucked up. He's like, fuck yeah, give me that fucker.
Yeah, he's probably excited too because the payday is probably gonna be bigger.
Yeah, payday's bigger. High risk. It's your last fight. If he wins, what? He gets a title shot.
Islam turned down a title fight with Usman to take this fight with Diaz.
That's interesting.
Allegedly.
Khamzat?
No, Islam. Did I say Khamzat?
You said Islam, but Nate Diaz. Wait, what?
Oh, no, my bad. Yeah, no, yes. Not Makhachev. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah, Khamzat turned down an Usman fight to fight Nate Diaz.
Yes.
Probably because it's an easy warm-up fight for Usman. For him. High risk, high reward. You could get knocked out.
I was going to say,
but when was the last time Nate Diaz knocked someone out?
Oh, very rare. Oh, no. I'm not talking about Diaz fighting Usman. I'm talking about Khamzat turning down a title fight with Usman.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
Khamzat turned
what
down.
are his chances of getting knocked out against Diaz? Very low.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. No, exactly. And that's I think it's going to be a murder. The only thing that I can see is Diaz has jiu-jitsu. He's good at grappling. Now, so is Khamzat, but I think that's the only way that Diaz wins the fight, is if Khamzat takes him down and he catches Khamzat with a submission.
The last time Nate Diaz won by not decision was 2016 when he choked out Conor.
And that doesn't say much.
So it's been 6 years.
What about before that?
Before that, decision, he knocked out Gray Maynard in 2013.
Gray Maynard.
That was the last non-decision.
9 years ago.
Yeah, and he won by decision against Conor McGregor in their rematch in 2016. Oh, sorry. He also won by unanimous against Anthony Pettis in 2019.
But still, just a bunch of decisions.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Since he's won a fight.
Oh, that's not good. It's going to be a murder. I think Dan Hardy said it right. I think it's going to be an assassination. All right, so this last Saturday, we had a pretty nice
So good.
and fun fight night. I'm not going to talk about any of the prelims because I didn't see any of them, and only one was finished.
Everything I heard, because I tuned in when Molly started fighting, and I heard the card prior to that was fucking lame.
Yeah. I mean, there was like 8 fights. Only one was finished. The rest were all just decisions.
Yeah, everything,
and they all just looked like blowouts,
literally,
too.
Molly, after her fight, was like, I wanted to put on for the crowd because up to this point, it's been fucking lame.
Yeah, which we'll talk about her in a second because she's a fucking little badass, dude. So I've been kicking off the main card. We had Ozdemir versus Craig. I saw a GIF today that said, "How the hell did Craig stand a chance when there was 2 Ozdemirs?" The ref looked just like him, and they're both standing over him, and it was like, "How did he stand a chance?" So I mean, Volkan,
30-27 across the board.
Yeah, beat the shit out of him the entire time.
Yeah,
and then jumping into very fun fight with Meatball going up against Hannah Goldie.
Also, Hannah Goldie might have my favorite nickname. It's 24K.
Yeah.
24K Goldie. That's such a fucking cool name.
Yes.
Too bad she sucks.
Yeah, she's not great.
Dude, she's yoked.
And her mouthpiece said whatever her kid's name is, mom. And I'm like, that's cool. You probably prioritize being a mom more than a fighter, and that's fine.
Hey, so to be fair, she was 6-2 coming into this fight. And then she went up against Meatball, who's a little fucking animal.
She's 32. Molly's 32. I was like, I thought she was younger.
I thought she was younger as well. But a lot of fighters at their prime in their 30s.
And that's fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's... what is that? The 2 back-to-back spinning back elbow wins?
Yeah.
Right?
Lightning strike twice.
And how about the fucking energy from that girl, dude?
Dude, it's great.
It's just unbelievable.
Does she have a boyfriend?
I thought it was Patty at first.
Nah.
No, I know.
They're just great friends.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
If she has a boyfriend, I'd be jealous. I'd be like,
yeah.
listen, he's way more of a stud than I am.
Oh, I'm not even talking about Patty, dude. I'm talking about how she was riding Dave Portnoy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He caught her and, he's doing like the whole bouncing thing. She's like, woo! And I was like, oh, shit, dude. If that was my girl, I'd be pissed. But yeah, no, I know. Hey, but yeah, absolute savage. Hannah Goldie, absolutely jacked, dude. She's fucking ripped coming in there. But, I mean, Molly just had the better of exchanges. She was more aggressive. She kept applying the pressure at all times. It was just a great fight for Molly. And I think really showed people like, hey, like I know I'm catching this recognition, but I'm here.
When are them going to get ranked in the top 15?
Probably after these fights.
Yeah, I would assume...
I'll look right now because the UFC would have updated
Yeah, I was
going
to say, because they should have been updated by now.
Where does Patty fight?
Featherweight?
Yeah, she's women's flyweight, and then Patty is lightweight. Whoa.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Lightweight's the best
I
division,
thought he was lighter. But yeah, no, I mean, dude, Molly, she's on a 3-fight win streak now. Knocked out her last one, Carolina, and then knocked out Goldie. Like we said, both spinning back elbows. I mean, dude, I think she's going to be a little fucking badass, bro. The good thing is that she's known for her striking. That's where she's elite, is her stand-up game. But I mean, her ground game's not bad, but definitely not her go-to. And she's like best friends with Patty, who is classified as a jiu-jitsu artist. So I'm sure they work a lot together, and I'm sure they're only going to be able to get each other like better up to that point. But yes, I'd be shocked if Molly's not at least close to 15. But yeah, 3-fight win streak, and she looked great. Next one, Nikita versus Gustafsson. I didn't know Gustafsson was still fighting in the UFC. And then, shocker, it didn't look like he should have been. Yeah. They clinched about, 55 seconds in. Throwing a couple leg kicks, kind of caught Gustafsson caught Nikita's leg, and then he had both of them, his hands around his neck, standing on one foot, kind of like in a Muay Thai clinch, and then just threw a left uppercut and just dropped Gustafsson immediately. Jumped on him, and I mean it was just free range. He landed like 6 ground and pound shots. Gustafsson didn't block any of them, so he was rocked the entire time. So quick minute 7 TKO. Then jumping over to the Patty the Baddie fight, going up against Jordan Levitt.
Neither are ranked.
Yeah, neither of them are ranked either.
After this fight, no. After these fights.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. I think Patty, after now being 3-0 in the UFC, with a knockout and then back-to-back submissions.
Shows he can do everything.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that he's not ranked. That's crazy.
It was... People like when they were
the
talking
lightweight division.
Yeah, that's what makes it tough. But I think towards the bottom of that, like they still have guys like Connor in there. It's like,
see that? Yeah,
that's annoying that Connor's there when he's just every time he fights, he's dropping farther and farther.
He hasn't
you
won
have
a
a guy
fight in
like
like
Patty.
4.5 years.
You have a guy like Patty that's just winning, dominating everything, and you're like, not top 15 yet though. To me, they were talking about on the commentary of how he gets the back and how he looks for it. I don't know if you saw the fight.
No, I was working.
Not only did he get Jordan Levitt's back, he got it in a body triangle with Jordan Levitt's arm pinned underneath his leg.
Yeah.
So he only could defend with one arm. That's why it was so easy for him to get a rear naked choke. Because it's like, I'm going to use my offhand here and just hold your arm, and then your neck is mine.
So
that's how he got it.
That's what I was actually surprised with, because it probably took him like a minute 50, 2 minutes to be able to get in that rear naked. with that arm pinned and everything.
But I think he didn't rush it. I think he was like, I have this control so early, I'm not going to rush it and lose this control.
Yeah, and
I'm going to take it when it comes.
He kept adjusting it. Jordan tried to scramble out a couple times. He'd hold him back down, everything like that. But like you said, right? Pull the arm back and then go and slip it in. And he wasn't. He was just kind of holding it. I think trying to get a deep breath.
Maybe
really make sure everything's constricted.
Make sure he's tired.
But yeah, I mean, dude, that's cool because I didn't know Paddy was known for like categorized as a jiu-jitsu artist. I know he had great ground game, but I thought he was still a stand-up badass too. And Levitt, yeah, he's a freestyle fighter, but he has great jiu-jitsu. And so to be able to see him fight off Levitt the entire first round, which he landed bigger shots.
He was getting picked up in the air and slammed down.
Who, Paddy?
Paddy, yeah. Paddy was getting like lifted off the ground completely.
Yeah,
Jordan Levitt standing up. Yeah,
2 or 3 like hard slams.
And he popped back up. I'll give him credit. He got slammed and he was like, cool, we're back up.
Yep.
Like I didn't do anything.
It showed me great
control.
Great control for what he's able to do and how calm he's able to stay, because Jordan had him in a couple hairy situations a few times, and Paddy just kind of like kept through it, landed the bigger shots, but Jordan, I mean, controlled 4 minutes and 50 seconds of this 7-minute fight. Like he had him against the fence. He was the one controlling. He definitely won the first round. In my opinion.
Of the first round was him up against the fence, and Paddy said going into the fight he's gonna try to shoot single leg the entire fight, and I'm gonna elbow the fuck out of his head when he does. And he only landed a couple of elbows.
Yeah.
Because when you announce to the world, if you shoot single leg, I'm gonna elbow your head. The other guy's probably gonna protect his head when he shoots single leg, but he still got a couple in there. And really, what nailed it was when they got against the cage, Paddy landed a huge knee.
Fucking huge knee straight to like the fucking temple.
And it was like, okay, now I can get your back. And then it was the best body triangle you could possibly get realistically with that back. You get the back, you get body control, you also get that leg or that arm pinned. It's over.
Yeah.
There's nothing that guy can
and
do.
Bisbing even like asked him about it. He's like, is that something you train on all the time? Because you had that one arm locked in, and he goes, that's just what I always do.
He's like, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, he goes, that's what I always do. And I was like, fucking Paddy, bro. Yeah. And then also went and celebrated with Portnoy.
Yeah, and also Jordan. I want to point this out. Jordan Levitt thought he came in as like a guy that like not a lot of people know, and he's like, I don't think he knows who he is yet. So it was like in between, like I'm gonna be against the crowd, but also I want to be for the crowd. Like people come out and they boo him, and he's like, oh. Let me hear it some more, and it's like, don't do that. No, you're not a heel in the WWE. Like, please stop. Yeah. And then his nickname is the Monkey King, and I just can't get behind that. I can't get behind the Monkey King.
So Jordan makes me laugh, dude. He was 10-1 going into this fight. I mean, he's badass. He really is. And his signature after he finishes the fight is
to do the splits.
Yeah, he does the splits.
And it looks bad. It's not a good look in my opinion.
He just boom does the splits and then stands back up. I think he's a little bit more on the flamboyant side.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, dude, I think the guy's funny and I think he is a great fighter. But I mean, he's just never gonna hit that level.
No, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Make your living here. Try to do your thing. But when you're coming up against an up and comer like Paddy, like I don't know who Paddy's gonna get next. He'll probably get a top 15 fight after this against one of those guys towards the bottom, and then probably make his debut in the rankings after he most likely
Paddy
wins
and
that
Connor.
fight. Yeah, it won't happen, but
No.
That'd be nice.
it'd be electric. I'm sure he'll get like 13, 14, and then he'll win, and they'll put him at like 8.
Okay, so I'll let you take the lead on this one because I didn't see it. I went in and out.
Oh yeah, Jack Hermanson, Chris Curtis. Jack Hermanson did exactly what he needed to the first 2 rounds. Threw a lot of kicks to the body, especially. Just landed a bunch of strikes that won him the first 2 rounds. That's all it was. Didn't land nearly as much on the head. He threw a lot of head strikes, but he loved throwing kicks to the body, some leg kicks. Just had control the first 2 rounds, and then got to the 3rd round and did what anyone in this position would do and say, "Okay, you have to win now." And that's what he did. He didn't try to go win the 3rd round. He didn't try to finish the fight. Like he's in a position in middleweight where I feel like he's like, I just need to keep winning. You have a guy like Chris Curtis who's trying to moving his way up through middleweight. Realistically, I feel like Jack Hermanson was at 8. Maybe they haven't updated these rankings because Jack Hermanson hasn't moved at all from 8. So it might be in a day or two that they'll update these rankings. But Hermanson was at 8. coming into this fight. And so it was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just going to do what I need to win this fight. Won the first 2 rounds. Cool. As long as you don't finish me, I'm going to get my win here. And the entire 3rd round was Chris Curtis, like, trying to push the pace a little bit. And then Jack Hermansson, like, just kind of not engaging as much because he doesn't need to. And then Chris Curtis just being like, you're a pussy. And, like, the fight ended and he flipped him off. And I'm like, well, maybe you should have done something in the first 10 minutes of a 15-minute fight then.
Yeah.
Like, you can't sit there and get mad when Jack Hermansson is like, I'm not engaging with you. I won the first 2 rounds. That's all I need to do. I don't need to win this fight.
Come get me, dude.
I don't need to finish you. I just need to win the fight. You didn't do anything in the first 2 rounds. Come and try to get me then. And Chris Curtis would try for like 30 seconds and swing a bunch, and he'd land a couple, and it's like, okay, you got something going here. And Hermansson would like get away and like get to the other side of the octagon, and he'd just be like, yo, run away, pussy. And I'm like, go fight him. Like, what are you doing talking shit? You're losing the fight. And that's why it ended up being 29-28 on 2 of the scorecards. I would have given it 30-27. Just like, I don't know who the 3rd judge was, but they gave it 30-27 because they were like, dude, fuck you. Go try to win the fight then. Yeah, cool. You won the round and you lost the fight because you stopped every time you started getting something going. Because Hermansson was doing what I feel like not most fighters, but like some fighters are going to do that. Understand the rules of the fight. If I win the first 2 rounds, I don't need to do anything in the 3rd round. You could get me on my back from the first second of the 3rd round. As long as you don't finish me, I'm winning this fight. I don't care.
Yeah.
And like, I don't like have more respect for Hermansson for doing it. I'm like, I would like to see you go try to finish the fight. I'd like to see you dominate the 3rd round like you did the first 2. But if those are the rules and you play to the rules, you're not going to move up in the rankings very much because of it, but you won the fight.
Yeah.
And if you're Chris Curtis, you can't be mad at anybody but yourself. You lost the first 2 rounds because you didn't do enough. That's your own fault. You can't get mad at him. Get mad at yourself. Don't call him a pussy. Don't walk out of the fucking octagon as soon as the decision's made and be like, I'm not doing anything. Okay, cool. I'm not giving you a really good fight then because you couldn't beat Hermansson at all. You lost the first 2 rounds very decidedly. What makes me think you're going to do better against anybody else above the top 8?
Yep.
I don't like Chris Curtis after Ariane.
All right, dude. Well, you're fucking on the hot seat, Chris Curtis.
I was mad.
All right, and then the main fight on the main card, Curtis Blades against Tom Aspinall. I mean, it was 15 seconds. They just kept kind of exchanging leg kicks for the most part, a couple body kicks. Aspinall threw one, hit Curtis kind of like on his thigh, kind of like checked it. It was more of like a body kick. Then when he went to go step back on it, something just happened. Boom, drops, holds his knee.
Yeah.
Fight's over, 15 seconds.
It was so fast that I couldn't tell if it was on the kick or when he stepped back.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know, because it's one of those things where like normally when you injure your knee, like when you step back, you can take another step. It's like you take a step down and you're like, oh, that kind of didn't feel right. And then you take another step and you fall. It was like right when his leg came down off that kick that he immediately collapsed and was holding his knee. So I'm like, I couldn't tell if it was on the leg kick. It got kind of checked because it hit him in the thigh. Yeah. And that's where it happened, or if it was when it came back. Very unfortunate.
Could not tell at all. Curtis Blades is very upset about it. He's like, hey, like I was here to prove something and prove that I'm still in this, and then I can make a title run, and then I can get that championship fight.
Fast riser in this class. And
and then bada bing, bada boom.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I would like, because Tom Aspinall's had like 6 fights in the UFC. He's never been the underdog. Right, and coming into this fight, he also was the favorite. So, and he looks so good. Right, he was 6 coming into this. Curtis Blades is 4. Very excited for it. It's in London, right? That's why they had Molly and Patty on this card, and then you have a main event with Tom Aspinall, who's also from England. Like, you do that for a reason, to have that be how that fight finishes. I'd rather have it be by a knockout, and the crowd's disappointed because their guy didn't win. Having it be on a freak injury, I feel like it's happened more often than it should in the UFC main events recently. Mostly on fight nights, hasn't happened on main cards or on like pay-per-views. But even like the Blachowicz fight, I forgot who he was fighting. Who was it? When Blachowicz fought Rakic, when he fought Rakic, and Rakic tore his ACL. It's just an unfortunate way when these guys train 4 months to fight that particular fighter.
Yep, and what that always tells me is that motherfucker should be ready to fight then next month.
Yeah, you fought for 15 seconds. Like
Curtis Blades,
you fought 15 seconds. Yeah. You can absolutely take on what Derek Lewis fights this card.
Yeah.
Like not Derek Lewis, obviously, because that's gonna be too fast. But like, I don't know, fucking
somebody up there.
Yeah, one of those top fighters that hasn't fought in a little bit.
Yeah. Also, Aspinall he's 12-3. All 12 of his wins have been finishes.
Yeah, and
100% finish.
And I haven't heard anything about what the actual injury was. There hasn't been.
I saw something about knee. That was awesome.
I just heard freak injury, knee injury. I don't think they have done MRIs yet to see if it's ligament damage. Maybe it was just a dislocated knee, and he can be good to go in a couple months, and they can maybe run it back. Maybe fucking throw it on 279. If both those guys are good to go, if it's just a dislocated knee, you can recover from that in 2 months and be good to go. If it's anything worse, obviously it's going to take surgery, months of recovery. But if it's just hey, you dislocated your knee, obviously you can't finish that fight, but give it 2 months, throw it on 279, might as well, and let's run it back. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, jumping over to the main event on Saturday. We got UFC 277. Kicking it off the early prelims. We got Orion Cossie going up against Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond.
On the early prelims. I don't care who wins, but I like the guy's name. Yeah. And then in the prelims, nothing too crazy. We got Alex Moreno versus Matthew Smellisberger.
Nice.
Yeah, dope last name, dude. Drew Dober, who we all call Chad.
Yeah, he's
right.
His
Chad
dad's
with
a
one
lawyer.
D.
His dad's a lawyer.
Is this
Chad
his for
with
277?
Yeah. These are prelims.
All right. I thought you said early prelims.
No,
Early
sorry,
prelims for Blood Diamond. That's the very
Blood
first
Diamond.
fight.
Oh, okay.
Now we're into prelims.
Okay. Now I'm tracking.
Yeah, guy looks scary, dude. Scary. All right, but on the main card, early prelims, they look decent. Maybe a couple good fights.
Hopefully
but there's a lot of
good
big
fights.
favorites.
Not big names, but hopefully they're good fights.
So kicking off the main card, we've got
You got this.
Magomed Ankalaev.
Yep. I'll take that.
Magomed. I'm going up against Anthony.
Of course you fucked up. Of course you fucked
Anthony
up.
Smith. Not Anthony. Anthony Smith. I'm going Magomed. He's a minus 550.
Yeah, he's a Dagestani
to
fucking
finish
fighter.
this fight.
I'm never picking against him.
Yeah, not even a chance.
I'm going to go Pantoja in the next fight, too. I got to pee.
Okay.
Magomed.
All right.
Too bad for Lionheart here. He's gonna get murdered.
Yeah. No, it's not gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. Anthony Smith. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been fucking 36-16. Yeah, he's been fighting forever. And Magomed 17-1. I mean,
Man is gonna murder.
no, yeah, he's gonna murder him, dude. And this is light heavyweight. So this is coming up for the Yuri. Teixeira, Blachowicz, all them. Magomed's going to be there by next year. So just keep an eye out for that guy. On the next one, Alexandre Pantoja versus Alex Perez.
I actually don't know any of these guys.
I know Pantoja. He was on the same season as Brandon Moreno and Kaikara France,
Okay.
the flight weights, which they're both actually fighting on this card. But yes, I'm going to go with Pantoja. He was the number one ranked fighter coming into it. Awesome season. Don't know if you guys saw it. It was season 26 or something.
Okay.
It was all champions. So it was 16 flyweight champions from around the world in all different 40 fighting organizations that came together to fight. And it was really cool. But yeah, so he was one of the top ranked ones and he lost.
All right, I'll go for Pantoja then.
All right, next one we got Derek Lewis against Sergey Pavlovich.
Dude,
I'm going with the Russian, dude.
Pavlovich.
yeah.
I'm definitely going with Sergey.
Yeah, I am too. As much as I want Derek Lewis, because I just love Derek Lewis and his after fight antics and just kind of who he is, and he can knock anybody out in any second. A guy that's 15-1, I don't feel comfortable picking against that guy ever.
I know, dude. I'm going with Sergey too. Just
Dude, the
it
Russian's
is
scary.
But Derek Lewis has now been knocked out 2 times out of his last 3 fights.
Yeah, it's that chin.
And that's what worries me is the chin. But he also has the knockout power. So who should win this fight? Sergey. Could Derek Lewis win this fight? Obviously. Because he has knockout power that really has not been seen ever because he has the most knockouts ever.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I can speak for all of us. We're hoping for that puncher's chance.
I don't know, nor do I care about Sergey Pavlovich. So I don't care if he wins this fight or not. If Derek Lewis knocks him out, I'd be more ecstatic than I would be if Pavlovich does anything.
Okay, so Sergey, for those of you guys that do not know, 84-inch reach, I haven't seen it.
7-foot reach. That's a 7-foot reach. How tall is he?
6'3".
That's a +9 inch.
Dude, that's a
reach
John
advantage.
Jones right there.
That's ridiculous. He's
Stefan
not built like John
Struve
Jones.
was like 7'2" and had a shorter reach than John Jones. And I'm pretty sure John Jones had 84.5.
Yes.
So Sergey's coming in here 6'3" with a fucking 7-foot wingspan. Jesus Christ. 12 of his 15 wins were all knockouts. And he's on a 3-fight win streak, all knockouts.
Last fight that he lost was to Overeem 4 years ago.
And got knocked out 4 minutes into the first round.
But that's Overeem, and that's 4 years ago.
And he's 30. That was when he was 26. Like I said, 30s is when you start to hit that real prime.
As far as fighting.
For the average fighter, I feel like. Dude, this guy has so many knockouts.
Scary.
So, yeah, definitely going to be Sergey, as long as he can just take that punch from Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
Okay.
Co-main event.
So we're all three together so far, right? We're all
Yeah,
three
I'm pretty
together
sure
so
we
far?
all got Magomed, Pantoja, and Pavlovich.
All right.
I think this is going to be the one that probably divides us.
Potential to be a amazing fight. We got Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France. It's hard because I love them both.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. I also love both. I love Brandon Moreno, but I'm going Kai Kara France. I'm going with
Hey,
him.
dude, I'm actually really surprised by that.
Now, here's the thing. This is what separates it. Brandon Moreno just coming off her loss. Kai Kara France has got some momentum. He's got the win. He also lands more significant strikes per minute by over 1.3 or 1.3 on
Strikes
the
per
dot.
minute, yeah. That's solid.
Now, my only thing is if Brandon Moreno gets Kai Kara to the ground, it could be a different fight. But if Kai Kara France, and if we look at the average fight time, Kai Kara France is used to shorter fights, so that could be in
5-round
favor
fight.
of Brandon Moreno.
Nickname is Don't Blink because he finishes fights fast.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm going for Kai Kara because I would like a big shakeup in this division. I love Brandon Moreno. I would love to see him get his belt back. But Kai Kara to the top, and then Brandon Moreno comes back hungrier than ever. Gets his belt back after he fights, what's his bucket?
Figueiredo.
Figueiredo will fight Kai Kara France for the title again, and then Brandon Moreno will get the next shot after he probably fights, the number 3 guy, number 4 guy, whatever. And Brandon Moreno will come back and fight either Kai Kara or Figueiredo, hungrier than ever, get his belt back. And that's what I love about this flyweight division is that it almost feels like it just kind of goes back and forth right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I want Kai Kara France to win, just because I want that animosity in a division finally.
That's fair.
So I 100% agree with that, especially because I know I talked about it before. I think it's absolutely fucked up that the last 2 years in the flyweight division has been dedicated to only Moreno and Figueiredo fights.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the tough thing.
That's a tragedy. It's been like a year and a half that only them have fought for the title. So, I love Kai Kara France, dude, and I just want him to be able to have the belt. So I definitely want him to win too. I love Moreno.
I love
dude.
Moreno.
But I am also going Kai Kara France.
Okay, so we did not divide us.
Wow,
So,
really?
Because I'm in agreement with you guys exactly 100% on this. Like the last time they fought was 3 years ago, and Moreno won by it. Okay, it says TKO, 3rd round, 5 minutes. Don't think it's possible, realistically. I feel like the ref would just probably let it go if there's like 1 second left.
Oh yeah.
Like if there's, because I imagine that was UFC 245. I imagine that wasn't the main event where it was a 5-round fight, and even if so, like I'm a little confused by how it was a knockout TKO at 3 rounds, 5 minutes.
So if it was the main fight, like on a fight night,
then
it'd be 5 rounds.
Well, it was a main event, or it was a pay-per-view. It was 245.
But it wasn't the main event.
So there's no way that was main
no
event.
way.
So I don't know how it would be a
And
knockout
it wasn't
TKO.
for a title.
No. So I'm a little confused by it. But regardless, the last time they fought, Moreno did win. But that was 3 years ago. I think they're both very different fighters in that time span. Kai Kara France has gone
So I do know
3-1 since then.
I do know that will count as like a TKO if say Moreno was beating the shit out of him, and it's like, all right, now go back to your corners.
And he couldn't continue.
And Kai Kara France was still just like rolling there, like 2 gas,
UFC
couldn't get up.
245, that fight was in the prelims. That UFC 245 was one of the most stacked cards ever. You want to know what that fight was?
Probably like McGregor and
Kamaru
somebody.
Usman, Colby Covington,
Okay.
title fight. Featherweight title bout, Volk versus Holloway. bantamweight title bout for women's, Nunes beat Germaine de
Random.
Yeah. Then it was Marlon Moraes versus Jose Aldo. And then bantamweight, Peter Yan fight Uriah Faber.
Damn, that was so long ago.
Yeah,
I know.
And that's the thing. So it was so long ago. It was 3 years ago.
Oh my God!
And it was
No,
a
never
prelim.
mind. UFC 245. They were in the early prelims.
Dude, so this had to have been right around the tough season then when they were first starting to get exposed.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So it's been so long. They both matured so much as fighters that I think that absolutely this fight is going to be totally different than the last time they fought. I think Kai Kara France is in so much better form. And I agree with you both 100%. I don't want Moreno Figueiredo for 2 years in a row of the same two guys fighting for the belt. I want new blood. I want someone else fighting Figueiredo for that belt. I want something different because as much as I love Figueiredo, and I think it sucks because they started on a draw. So then it's like, okay, well, obviously whoever wins the next one, as long as it's close, they're going to fight again. And then after that, it's like, okay, now I guess we have to do something new. But that's a year and a half of just those two guys fighting for the belt because the first one ended in a draw, and that's what we have to do going forward, essentially.
Yeah.
So I want Kai Kara France to win this fight just for that reason. I want new blood. I want Figueiredo to fight someone new.
I want
Moreno to fight someone new.
We want animosity in a division, and right now in any division, we don't really have it.
It's the same. It's the reason why featherweight got boring. I'm tired of watching Volk and Holloway.
Oh yeah, no, I'm very over.
Yeah,
that
And that's the thing. So it's like I need to see something new. You know, at least with bantamweight, it's not just Jan and Sterling. You have Dillashaw, you have Aldo, you have Sandhagen that are trying to get in the mix. You know, maybe they're not all competing for that belt, but like you have guys in the mix. But it feels like in flyweight, it's just Figueiredo and Moreno. I need someone else. So
and we know Kai Kara France can do it. He just hasn't gotten a shot.
Exactly. He hasn't gotten the shot. That's what I want.
And if he doesn't beat Brandon Moreno, and Brandon Moreno
Then
absolutely
fair.
kicks his ass,
Then fair.
Then fine. Flyweight is just going to turn into another boring division. But like, I mean, obviously title fights are going to be very fun. But it's just going to be like, well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
All right.
And then, so is this going to be one of the pay-per-views where all five of us have the same picks?
Maybe.
Probably.
All right, kick it off, Logan. We'll start on this side.
Yeah, it's Nunes. I don't see how she loses twice to Juliana Pena.
Pena.
I know he's going with Pena. I knew he's going to go with Pena.
Fuck it, dude. Animosity.
Plus 230 too. That's great odds.
Oh yeah, no. Daddy's putting a Lincoln on Pena.
We got co-main event. Timmy's got both dogs.
Hell yeah, brother. And I'm going to parlay those two for
All right,
some
Hulk
money. Huh?
All right, Hulk Hogan.
Brother.
So I'm going Nunes. The only thing that throws this question mark is I wouldn't have second guessed this if this was the first time. But Pena's fight style matched up so well.
That's what she said going into that first fight.
But Nunes, I just finished Ultimate Fighter this current season where they were on it.
Yeah, Juliana Pena sucked the whole time.
And at the end of the season, well, what do you mean?
I only saw the axe throwing competition.
Oh, I was like, dude, our team dominated the whole show. But yeah, no, like they're at the end, Nunes they didn't talk shit all season, and at the end they have to do their face off, and Nunes starts running that fucking mouth, and is like, dude, I'm taking my belt back, like it's my belt, and Pena's like, hey, just show up this time. She goes, I showed up last time. Like Nunes is like, I showed up last time.
I got my ass kicked, but I showed up.
No, and Pena's like, no, you didn't, and that me was like, dude, even Pena knows that wasn't Nunes in there, so I'm going Nunes. I mean, we talked about it, when I did my best top 5 fighters of all time in the UFC, and I only left her out because she hadn't proved herself yet. It's been like a year and a half since then. She needs to win this back. And I think she will.
Right. Yeah. No. Honestly, yeah, no. I mean, I see Nunes absolutely demolishing Pena, but guess what, dude? Animosity.
Animosity, dude. All right, and then last little thing for UFC. Actually, 2 more things. But like I just said, Tough Season 30 just ended, and the finale will be on the following fight night the Saturday after this pay-per-view. Okay. So 2 weeks from now on August 6th. The 2 finalists for the men's heavyweight is Muhammad Usman, Kamaru Usman's brother, younger brother, and this guy's a fucking animal. Going up against Zach Pauga. Such a bummer because I fucking loved both of them.
Yeah.
Usman, very good guy. He wasn't like this big meathead that you thought he'd be. So I want Usman to win just because I like Kamaru.
It's a small picture, but that's a big head.
Yeah, and Kamaru won the Ultimate Fighter, so I think it'd be dope to have two brothers win the Ultimate Fighter. Yeah. But Zach was a fucking grade A guy. And then for the women's flyweight, we have Brogan Walker going against Juliana Miller.
That's not a name that I want. Brogan?
No, I think it's a terrible name.
I don't even know what flag that country is.
I don't remember what it was, but
it's
Brogan, more well-rounded, way more experienced. I did not like Juju starting off in the season, but dude,
Guam.
Dude, Juliana Miller is a fucking little badass, and I hope Juju wins. So fucking aggressive. She was the underdog in both of her fights, came out, beat the shit out of both of them. And she's a fucking warrior that does not keep applying the pressure. I just think Brogan's a little more experienced. So I'm hoping for Muhammad and Juju to both win that one. Other than that, we got Sam Alvey against Miguel.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Vicente Luque versus Jeff Neal.
Money layer.
I'll tune in.
Not enough BDE and feather. Yeah, like we said, we agree with you. We're looking for some shakeup in that division. But money layer. Thanks for tuning in.
And then last MMA news. Our boy Sully Cully has a fight booked. So Sully Cully will be fighting Tyson Jeffries.
Nice.
Sully is 3-0, as we all know.
Knockouts.
And he fights at light heavyweight, so 205. He's going up against Tyson Jeffries, who has no real profile about him, but he's 14-11. So the guy's experienced, but he's barely
not good.
He's barely winning over 500. And he, from what his weight shows, is that he typically fights at middleweight. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Sully.
I think about that, 185.
Sully,
Sully.
knock his ass out in 5 seconds.
Hey, congrats on going 4-0, dude.
Add it on, Jinx. It. Hey, how far is South Dakota?
From here?
Far.
Yeah. Just Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
You guys trying to go to Mount Rushmore?
Nah, dude, I'm trying to go to this fight, bro.
Mount
Mount Rushmore is definitely on my bucket list. I want to be one of those people that walk up there and go, whoa.
I want to pick
All right,
Washington's.
let's go back downhill.
I want to pick Washington's nose, dude.
All righty. All right, so yeah. So obviously we're going to be tuning in for that. Jumping over to golf. Tony Finau wins the 3M tournament with a minus 17.
Yep.
What?
I thought we were done with sports.
Oh, no, yeah, I got two more. And with a minus 17, Scott Piercy shoots a plus 5 on Sunday. He was at minus 18 going into that, absolutely shatters and blows the lead. He literally just had to shoot par, and he would have won. And then also, did you watch the Barracuda Championship?
Nope.
Can you explain it to me?
Okay, so it's a stable front format. Ches Reavy won it. Congrats to Ches Reavy.
With plus 43.
Yes.
Okay, so explain that.
So it's a stable front format, which
Dude shot a plus 19 on round 2.
So you want the highest score possible, right? Not in I want to get triple, quad, and those. So
it's like an eagle gives you 3, birdie gives you 2.
Yeah, Eagles give you plus 3 points. Eagles give you like plus 5. Birdies give you plus 3 or 2. Pars give you plus 1. Bogeys or pars give you 0. I don't know. You know, it's like
okay, so it's one of those.
Pars probably 0.
No, pars I think plus 1, and then bogeys give you
just minus 1.
I don't like that. I've never heard this before. I don't like that.
You got to think because a
par
is very
what
good.
You should do on the hole.
Okay,
I'm not good.
Ches Reavy shot a plus 43. It's not like he got 43 birdies that entire round. So he got a lot of pars, and I think pars are plus 1.
Okay,
but you can look up stable front format and point system, and it'll tell you the exact numbers. Bogey gets you like 0 or minus 1.
Okay, so pars give you 0.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you got a bogey for minus 1. Birdies are plus 2s. And then it just shows a bunch of zeros.
Okay, that's where it comes. So it's birdies plus 2, and then so when you get birdies,
you get 0 for 2 strokes or more over. Oh, this can't be right.
No,
nope, that can't be right.
No, that's not right. But congrats to Tony Finau winning the 3M. It's his third PGA Tour win, and when you just look at a guy like Tony Finau and how he ranks every season, just like, man, that's only his third win.
No, yeah, everything Stableford,
yeah.
Everything I'm looking up says 2 strokes over is 0 points, 1 stroke over is 1 point, even par is 2 points. Okay, that's like 2 websites that I've looked up said that.
I'm not seeing that on ESPN here. But Ches Reavy, dude, first day shot an eagle and 2 birdies. So +9.
Yep.
Right off the bat. Round 2 shoots 7 birdies and an eagle, no bogeys. Or no minus points, I guess. So I don't know.
That's an update.
Oh, charging mode, dude. But yeah, so I had to have you explain that to me.
Yeah.
And then jumping over to WWE, Triple H replaces Vince McMahon as WWE's head of creative direction. Vince McMahon, 76, retires after reports that he dolled out millions, allegedly $14.6 million of dollars to women to keep their secret allegations of sexual misconduct.
That checks out.
Yeah, that came out like 2 weeks later. He's like, I'm retiring. I'm going to get out from all the heat and retire as a millionaire. And his son-in-law, Triple H, took over. So
Multi-millionaire.
Oh, yeah, dude. Vince McMahon's...
I'm surprised he's not a billionaire. Like, he's a good businessman.
Probably
not
because
just from
he's
WWE.
shelling out money.
That's fair. That's probably why.
That's 14.6 that we know of, dude.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson started off with like 6 girls. And then it was like
60.
30. Yeah. So, yeah, kept going up. So we'll see about him.
Yeah, but Deshaun Watson wasn't paying hush-hush money.
He was just telling people to sign this contract.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, yeah,
Now
I
he has
fucked
to
all
pay
of them.
Now he's got to pay him, though.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I fucked all of them. But they said it was okay. They signed it. Okay? I made sure they signed it. But yeah, so that's
such a fuckboy.
Yeah, that was
Deshaun Watson is fuckboy.
there was a lot of MMA talk there. But that wraps it up for this week's sports news that you did not know that you cared about.
Love it.
Awesome.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, so let's jump into college football. We are previewing college football. We got that coming up in just a few weeks here.
I love football.
Yeah. We're jumping into, we're going to be previewing all of the conferences, Power 5 at least, talking about any group of fives that we might have.
You're fired from the podcast.
That's gonna be our theme song, dude. I love every football episode. That was clutch.
Yeah, so talking Power 5, talking anybody else from the group of 5 that maybe we think might be ranked a little higher.
I didn't have anyone.
I also didn't have anyone.
No one
this year. So really was talking Power 5.
I saw that text and I was like, "Is that a trick question?"
Like Cincinnati,
Cincinnati's in the last few years.
I
Yeah,
know,
maybe
but-
they are getting the top 10. But
Yeah.
no.
So yeah, but regardless, we're going to talk about each conference, kind of how we see it playing out, and then conference champions, college football playoff preview as well. So we'll just go alphabetical order, I imagine.
Okay.
Start ACC.
Yeah, that's what I had to.
Who do you guys have as top contenders? Start with Kyle.
So top contenders, I only went with Clemson.
Okay.
They've won it 6 of the last 7 years. They got upset by Pitts last year. Clemson didn't look good. They had a lot of injuries, but they got that quarterback coming in.
The same one that sucked last year, yeah.
Yeah. But he looked really good in 2020.
Yes, they also got the number one quarterback.
He played like a game and a half in 2020.
They also got the number one
no, he
quarterback
had a lot of shout out.
in 2022 coming there. So maybe that will change just as far as the quarterback room in Clemson goes.
Yeah, they have a good backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same thing happened with Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
When they said, Kelly Bryant, go fuck yourself. We're going to
Yeah.
play Trevor Lawrence instead. And then they competed. They won a natty that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can see that.
Yeah,
So-
and I think they're going to come back with a lot of their because they had a terrible defense last year, and they were ridden with.
Did they?
Yeah, they did not have a good one.
No,
but,
I think
but
it
they
was
also
I
had
think
their
it was
worst
their
offense.
total.
It was their offense, yeah.
Yeah,
They-
their
they-
offense just
I thought
wasn't,
their
like,
defense was dog
amazing.
shit too.
But overall, they got the number one QB, Cade Klubnik. They also got a 5-star cornerback coming in with Jaden Lucas, which would be interesting. They got another 4-star cornerback. They got a 4-star safety. So,
Yes.
I mean, yeah, look for their defense to absolutely get better.
No. I was incorrect. In the ACC, they allowed the least amount of points.
Yeah,
so
their
their defense
defense
was okay.
They have
It
three
was
guys.
their offense.
No, it was Ungalalea.
Uiagalelei.
Almost.
Almost.
Hey, dude.
And I wasn't even looking at the name.
I tried to make fun of his name and I stuttered through it. So you did better than I did.
But yeah, I completely agree with you. Clemson should win it. However, in the ACC Atlantic, I have Clemson and Florida State. Florida State, another good recruiting class. However, it's just, are they going to be able to put all the pieces together to compete with Clemson? And then in the ACC Coastal, you have two top 20 recruiting classes in UNC and Miami, and those are the two teams in the ACC Coastal. So I have those two competing for the ACC Coastal. And then when it comes down to it, in reality, my pick is going to be Clemson versus Miami for the ACC title, and I do see Clemson winning that.
Yeah, so I'm right there with Tim. I
like
think Clemson can go like 10-2. Just with they play Clemson or they play Notre Dame at home this year, I think. Maybe they go to Notre Dame. I don't remember. I think it's at Notre Dame because the game's on NBC. Which they might win, they might lose. I don't trust Notre Dame at all this year. Like we talked about, Group of 5. Don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody that's not in a Power 5 conference this year. My team that I think is going to compete with Clemson as far as the Atlantic goes is NC State, because I don't think they lost very much. I think they're a team that a lot of people sleep on. Wake Forest, I have as like a third team, but that was completely because of their offense last year. They had like the worst defense in all of college football, and they just scored 80 points a game. Yep. You can't do that 2 years in a row, realistically. I think NC State will give them a run for their money. I think both teams will probably go 10-2. But Clemson, I think, can win the game head-to-head, and they'll get the tiebreaker. I think Miami and Pitt are competing for the Coastal Division. I do think Miami wins, just like Tim and just like Kyle. It'll be Miami and Clemson. I just don't trust Mario Cristobal because he was our coach for 2 years, and he couldn't win the games that mattered. So why would I trust him as a head coach? He can recruit his ass off, and that's great, and he can't coach. So, sure, you have a bunch of good guys.
Many times of us screaming at the TV because he made a stupid-ass fucking
bad
decision.
decisions. It doesn't make any sense. So I think they'll get to that title game against Clemson. I think Clemson will win. I think they finish the conference championship week at 11-2. Those 2 losses, maybe like a Notre Dame, maybe NC State, and they can get something more credit-wise as far as winning the actual conference. I love their defense. Their defense has multiple first-round picks on it, especially on the defensive line. Miles Murphy and Brian Bresee are both going to be first-round draft picks. They're elite pass rushers. After that, they don't have a lot, though.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because you can get to the quarterback or stop the run in a second and a half. Your secondary doesn't need to be great.
Absolutely.
Their offense is what scares me. They do have a great running back in Will Shipley. He was the number 1 running back 2 years ago. He is what's the white guy? Stanford.
Chris McCaffrey?
Yep, Chris McCaffrey. He's Chris McCaffrey 2.0. He's a little short white guy that can catch the ball in the backfield and runs, and that's fantastic. I don't necessarily love Clemson's offensive line, though, to get him those gaps to be electric. So we'll see how it goes. I think Clemson will lose 2 games in the regular season. They'll still win the championship. They'll finish 11-2. I don't think there's a lot of competition in the ACC realistically this year.
Okay.
Move on to the Big Ten. Top contenders.
For the Big Ten East, I've got Ohio State and, I guess Michigan. I don't think they're going to follow it up like they did last year with, what's his bucket? The Harbaugh. There we go. I do. They're not going to have the same year that they did last year. And Ohio State is just going to be Ohio State. I mean, that's just what it is. Then going over to the West. Fuck, dude. I don't know. I'll go with Wisconsin Badgers against, I guess, Iowa.
Okay.
And I'll take Wisconsin winning it. Okay. And then Ohio State and Wisconsin, I'm taking Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State's going to win the Big Ten this year. There's no question about it. They obviously have their returning number 1 or 2 overall pick coming back as quarterback. They've got wide receivers galore coming back. But as far as my order goes, I go Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan in that order in the Big Ten East. I think Penn State is going to be better than Michigan this year. And that's just because I have a soft spot for Penn State.
Also Ohio State guy, so he hates Michigan.
100%. Also, Penn State with an amazing recruiting class at number 6th overall in the nation. That's higher. That's only 3 higher than Michigan for 2022. So, but I mean, Penn State with 3 5-stars, Michigan with only 1. Penn State also got 13 4-stars. So I just look for Penn State to make, just not a lot of noise. They're not gonna beat Ohio State. Maybe they beat Ohio State once, but then Penn State will do something stupid and lose to Michigan or Michigan State or something down the road to where Ohio State still gets that number 1 spot. In the Big Ten West, yes, the Big Ten West is one of the worst section conferences in the Power 5. I have Iowa, then Wisconsin. Because the crazy thing with the Big Ten West, their highest rated recruiting class in the nation is 30 with Iowa topping out. I don't know what Wisconsin was. I didn't look. But Iowa is the highest in the Big Ten West. There's just not really a lot of talent there. Iowa is going to do their thing. They're going to play Big Ten football. Same with Wisconsin and everyone in the Big Ten West. But Iowa, I think, is just going to do a little bit better than Wisconsin this year. And Ohio State's going to beat Iowa in the Big Ten championship game by 40.
Yeah. So I agree with you guys. Fair. Ohio State, clear favorite as far as the Big Ten goes. I have Michigan going 11-1. I say that because
Michigan, I didn't look at their schedule.
They have 8 home games.
How do you get 8 home games?
I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, that can't be right. They have 8 of their 12 games at home. That means they split their conference games 4-4, home and away, and then every non-conference game is a home game.
They just paid schools millions of dollars.
Ohio State also has 8 home games.
Oh,
I don't get it, but they play Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, and
but this year Ohio State is
Maryland
home against Michigan, whereas last year they played Michigan, lost in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. They're gonna be at Ohio State. There's no chance they win. That's the last game of the regular season for them as well. So they'll both be 11-0 going into that game, and it'll be electric. And Ohio State will win by 30, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, Michigan not as good."
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought they were good.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's really what it comes down to.
They were ranked like 4th in the country going against number 1 or 2 Ohio State. We thought it was gonna be good.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be up there in the rankings. I don't know. I just Ohio. And as far as the West goes, I mean, I also just like Tim have Iowa and then Wisconsin. I don't know. That doesn't really matter. I have Iowa going 9-3.
And Wisconsin, if Wisconsin beats Iowa, great for Wisconsin. Neither of them getting near the playoffs.
Yeah, neither of them are touching Ohio State. That's the tough thing is that Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State are clearly the 3 best teams in the conference. Yep. So it's like whoever Ohio State plays in the conference championship is the 4th or 5th best team in the conference. And
is Michigan at Penn State?
Michigan. I'll look real quick. Michigan plays.
I'm just trying to gauge.
Michigan plays against Penn State at home. That's why I have them going 11-1.
Okay.
Their home games in conference are Penn State and Michigan State. They get their other 2 biggest opponents at home.
Yeah.
So it's like I can see them winning 11 games after what they did last year. They didn't lose a lot from last year's team. They didn't gain a lot either. But it's like, you get most of these games at home, most of your tough games at home. Like maybe
and Michigan still got their quarterback from Monty Ranch.
They might not start him. Because he did not do good in the playoffs.
No, he did not.
But yeah, we'll have to see. I just think Ohio State is so goddamn good. So, like Tim said, CJ Stroud, 1 or 2 quarterbacks, however you want to decide between him and Bryce Young.
Yeah.
Arguably the best running back in the country in Travion Henderson. As a freshman last year, he had 15 rushing touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns.
Yeah, no, he's an animal.
They have the number 1 receiver in the country, on most draft boards, at least in Jackson Smith and Jigba. They also have like the last 3 number 1 wide receivers in their high school classes.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pick against them.
Yeah.
I don't even care what their defense looks like. They're going to score 70 points a game. So who's going to stop them?
Yeah, and I remember that one year where Ohio State was blowing everyone out by like 40. And like the lines on every game was like minus 35, and I was like,
keep picking them.
I'm just taking them.
The only time the first time they didn't cover that season was when they were literally minus 50, and they won by 48.
Yeah, and I think that was the first time I lost, and yeah. I kept betting them the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure
they still
I went for
every
11 of 12 that season.
It was absolutely stupid.
I was like every week I was like, oh, I did 50 last week. Well, let's do fucking 55. Just kept hitting it, man. I would lose my parlay by $1 million,
Jesus
but I just straight up bet Ohio State. And I was like, that's a safety bet.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So Ohio State's going to dominate like normal. Again, their defense isn't as amazing secondary-wise. Good talent linebacker-wise. Great talent on the D-line. But it's that offense that's really the difference maker. Move on to the Big 12. Timmy, who are your top contenders? Obviously, no divisions here. It's 10 teams.
Yeah, Texas, then Oklahoma. I think Texas is going to take Oklahoma this year. I like Texas. Okay. My whole big thing will come a little bit later.
Is it with Quinn Ewers?
No.
Interesting.
That's their quarterback?
That was the kid that was the number 1 quarterback and then reclassed. So he skipped his senior year, went to Ohio State. Obviously not going to get playing time with CJ Stroud, so then he transferred to Texas.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, it would be for another reason.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, you have Texas, then Oklahoma?
Yes, I have Texas.
Kyle, continue.
Okay, so I have Texas and Oklahoma, but I put Oklahoma first.
Okay.
And the reasoning why is because some new information was just released to me today about an hour and a half ago, or maybe 2 hours ago, that they're building the world's largest canes.
Yeah.
4,700 square feet
for
on campus. Dude, they're going to be riding Cloud 9 this whole season.
They're gonna be full.
I don't know if it's gonna be
Everyone
ready
hopped
yet.
up on some cane sauce.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if it'd be ready yet, but
ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yeah, I know, but they're gonna be hyped up on it.
yeah, no, dude, it's gonna be fucking they're gonna be
There's pepper in
pumped, bro.
Yeah, mayonnaise, ketchup, and pepper. And people go fucking dick nuts.
Dude, white people go crazy for ketchup, mayo, and pepper.
No, and then like you said, just kind of with the Texas quarterback, I think that with what's his face,
Position coach.
No, Quinn. Sorry, Quinn at quarterback, like you said.
Okay,
he was a 5-star.
Texas #5 recruiting class, 2 5-stars coming there, 24 stars. Oklahoma has 0 5-stars. They have 18 4-stars. Caleb Williams also left Oklahoma.
Williams also left.
Yeah, and he's going to USC. Who's Oklahoma starting at quarterback? Obviously, he's not going to be bad. He's probably a very good quarterback.
Dylan Gabriel.
Is he good?
UCF starting quarterback the last 3 years.
Fuck that guy.
Played electric his first 2 years. Did get them almost into the college football playoff as a group of 5 team.
Yeah,
and broke his collarbone to start last year.
In the American, where points are plenty.
Galoria.
Yeah. And now same thing in the Big 12. So I'm not doubting that Oklahoma's going to put up points. However, when you look at Texas's recruiting class this year, they went very heavy on defense. They have a 5-star, no 5-star. I'm sorry. They have 2 5-star offensive linemen, but they've got 4-star quarterback in Terrence Brooks, an edge rusher, 2 edge rushers, a safety, a cornerback, a defensive lineman. Another D lineman, another safety, another edge rusher. Go on and on with these 4 stars. I think Texas defense is going to be not stout in the Big 12. Like teams are still going to put up points, but I'm just going with Texas.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have a better defense. Oklahoma is going to be starting this quarterback who hasn't played against these teams like Baylor and Texas and Oklahoma State, who can also put up points galore against an Oklahoma defense.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely bringing up good points. I think the Big 12 obviously is just one of the weaker ones in my opinion.
Yeah.
But you're missing 7 words, dude. Do they have the world's largest canes? I don't think they do. All right. Oklahoma's going to be coming in here riding that wave of fucking confidence.
Of ketchup and mayonnaise and pepper?
Yes, absolutely. They grow them big in the Midwest, and it's because of ketchup.
They got good garlic bread, bro.
You think Oklahoma's going to beat them?
So I think Oklahoma's going to be 11-1 this year. I think they lose maybe to Baylor, maybe to Texas. I think they lose one of those. They have a lot of those big games at home. To play Oklahoma State at home, I think they play Baylor at home. That helps a lot, obviously, in most of these games.
I didn't really look at the schedules, which I should have done.
I have Baylor and Oklahoma State both going 10-2, and Texas going 9-3. Texas plays Alabama, so that's an automatic loss.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah,
see, I didn't look at the schedules.
I did not either.
That's an automatic loss, and then you can now start factoring in Big 12 games. Baylor, Oklahoma State.
They would have Texas beat
if they beat Alabama, they're gonna be title favorites.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Texas has an electric offense. Oklahoma has that electric offense. Still, I know going from Caleb Williams and Mario Williams and all the guys they have on that offense, losing the number 1 quarterback in the country, a really great receiver to USC obviously sucks. They get Dylan Gabriel. They bring in the offensive coordinator, I believe, from UCF as well. It's a new head coach. It's Brent Venables, who was the defensive coordinator at Clemson for years and years and years. In my opinion, the best defensive coordinator in the country. And a guy that I think brings a lot of tenacity, animosity, just a lot of energy to this
team. Dude. That's the title of this episode, dude.
He brings a lot of energy, I think, that can probably fire up that defense. So even if they don't have the most talent, it's kind of like Baylor. Baylor doesn't have a lot of like studs on defense, but they played amazing on defense because Dave Aranda was their head coach and he was the defensive coordinator at LSU when they won the national championship. It's guys like that where it's like you bring in a head coach that can instill that that mindset with a team where it's like we're going to care about defense, and it can flip a conference on its head. Baylor won the Big 12, or I think they won the Big 12 last year because they were the only team that played fucking defense. And it's like when everyone else is playing offense, if we can stop them, we only need to score a couple times because their defense isn't going to stop us.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what they went in and did. I don't think Oklahoma's going to do that, essentially. They don't have I don't think enough talent to really be like, we're going to stop everybody. But I think Dylan Gabriel is going to be enough. I think they bring back Theo Weiss. They have a couple transfers at wide receiver. They have Eric Gray, who transferred there from Tennessee last year to play running back. They have enough talent there, I feel like. Gavin Sawchuk, who is like a 4-star running back in this class as well. They have enough talent on the offensive side that I think with Brent Venables probably staying completely out of the way of the offense and just letting the UFC offensive coordinator do whatever he wants and just focusing on the defense, I think it'll be enough. Baylor and Oklahoma State lost a lot in their secondaries. I think Baylor's going to finish above Oklahoma State. I think they both probably finish at 10-2, but I think Baylor's going to top them in their head-to-head because Baylor did return a little bit more on defense. I do love Spencer Sanders at Oklahoma State. He's an electric quarterback. He can run, he can throw. Not the most accurate guy, doesn't make the best decisions, but he has potential to make electric plays on every fucking play. My only thing with Texas is their defense. They have a lot of young recruits. Most of those guys, even if they get on the field, I don't think they're experienced enough to make much of an impact, especially against a team like Oklahoma. They're going to get run by all day. If they're an 18, 19-year-old running up against a 22-year-old that has years of experience in college football. And I don't know who starts at quarterback for Texas. I don't know if it's Hudson Card or if it's Quinn Ewers at this point. They haven't announced. They both looked great in their spring game. Texas has so much talent on offense. They have Xavier Worthy, who had a phenomenal freshman year. He'll be back and have another great year. They bring in Ajayi Hall from Alabama, who, if he can actually play, that's great. Didn't play at Alabama. Lots of disciplinary problems. So if he can get on the field, that's electric. And they'll have 2 elite running backs. And then Bijan Robinson is right there with TreVeyon Henderson as probably the best running back in the country. It's between the two of them. So they have, again, all 3 levels. If Quinn Ewers starts, he has that ability to make throws that almost no other quarterback in the country can. But he's a 19-year-old who's never played a full game of college football. So is he going to make the right reads? Is he going to make the right decisions? Is he going to panic? Is he going to tuck the ball? You never know. Versus Hudson Card, who not going to make those throws, maybe makes a few better decisions. I don't know. I just don't trust them after that loss at Alabama to only lose 1 game after that. And even if they do, I don't think that gets them the top spot in the conference. I have my title game for the Big 12 as Baylor and Oklahoma, and I have Oklahoma winning. I think Oklahoma finished 12-1. Not because they're an amazing team. I think it'll be an ugly 12-1, just like this last year. They finished the regular season at 10-2, and it was an ugly 10-2. Their 2 losses weren't great. Most of their wins were very close. They beat very, very bad teams by not a lot of points. I think it'll be very similar, but they'll only lose 1 game this season, and it'll look a lot better on paper for them. Okay, so I have Oklahoma. You have Oklahoma. Tim has Texas in the Big 12. Move on to the Pac-12.
I was going to say, you want to kick it off?
Sure, I'll kick it off. What did you do, Tim? What did you break?
You know how that picture fell down and it scared Bogey?
Yeah. What picture?
I accidentally stepped on it and it completely shattered the glass.
Oh, no.
So I just put the picture back down. The glass is covered. And we'll figure that out later.
All right.
Jesse won't be happy.
We are on to the Big 12 or the Pac-12 now. Sorry.
Yeah.
My top contender. There's 2. There's only 2. It's Oregon and Utah. I don't trust USC yet. No one else in the Pac-12 North is good at all.
Nope.
So it's just Oregon, Utah, and maybe USC, maybe UCLA. If you want to get feisty with it, maybe UCLA. I think Utah goes 10-2. I think they'll beat Florida. They play Florida week 1. Yeah, Tim probably has them like 11-1.
I have complete animosity.
So I think Utah will beat Florida. I think they'll drop another Pac-12 game. I think Oregon takes them at home because it's at home. Again, I'm picking these teams to win these tough games at home. If this game was in Utah, I'd probably give Oregon no chance. But the fact that it's in Oregon, I'm going to give them more of a fighting chance in the game. I think at that point in the season as well, they're going to have way more to play for. I think both teams will probably have the same record going into it, but with it being a home game, if Oregon keeps winning, it's going to mean a lot. USC I think goes like 9-3. Again, that offense electric. They're going to have Travis Dye there as a transfer. He's going to run all over us. He doesn't. They don't play us, but he'll run over all like everyone else in the Pac-12. Mario Williams out there is electric. They have Jordan Addison, who won the Blitnikoff last year and transferred there out of Pitt. They have
taking all my notes.
Sorry. They have Caleb Williams, obviously, but that defense sucks. The defense is atrocious, and I think it's going to cost them more than they'd like to think. I think Oregon goes 11-1. I think their only loss is to Georgia week 1. And I'd like to see them treat that game as do everything we can, get a good idea of where we need to improve, take the next 2 weeks against shitty teams, and figure it out. Hey, this is what we need to improve on. We're going to win these games regardless. Let's focus on getting those areas better. If it's not the prettiest win, as long as you win out the rest of the fucking season and you can win against Utah twice, because I think they'll play them in the Pac-12 championship, I think that's enough.
Okay. Yeah, no, for the Pac-12 North, yeah, you're right. I mean, I took Oregon Ducks because we should win that. I mean, there's no other team that should take us down in that one. And then the Pac-12 South, I've got USC. I've got USC taking down Utah. I think it'll be them too. And I wouldn't be surprised if Utah wins because I think USC might just need a couple more years together. Specifically, like you said, with the defense. I didn't even realize that Travis Dye went to USC. So, I mean, them just adding that on too with Caleb Williams and everything. I think USC is going to be nasty. I know people have been saying that for like a long time because it's like, oh, you know, this going to be their comeback year.
4 games last year?
Yeah, they went through 4-8 last year. But I think with them and now the recruiting class that Lincoln Riley's going to bring in there, I think USC is going to be pretty gnarly. So if they don't do it this year, maybe they will next year. Mm-hmm. But I've got USC taking down Utah, and then it's going to be Oregon and USC, and going Oregon.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
you have to go with Oregon.
I'm sure Tim did not pick Oregon in any of this.
I don't. Yeah, I wouldn't think so either.
Because he knew what we were doing. So.
And by the way, lots of huge sharps are betting heavy on Oregon against Georgia week 1. The spread is what they're hammering.
It's like a 18-point spread.
Yeah, and they're hammering that. But we'll get into it later. But yeah.
Yeah, so North Oregon, clear cut number 1, Pac-12 South.
I thought he was just going to pick Oregon State just to do it.
Actually, Washington.
This is the year for USC. They have the number 1 transfer class. Like Logan was saying, it's highlighted by Caleb Williams leaving Oklahoma to go to USC. So now they have a 5-star quarterback starting for him. They also got a 5-star wide receiver in Jordan Addison. They got Mario Williams from Oklahoma to match with Caleb Williams.
They lit up their spring game.
Yeah, they also poached Travis Dye from Oregon. That's what I put in my notes. Not necessarily to poach. I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, they did.
Little stabby stab.
It's Oregon fans' fault. They were like, we don't need
for
him.
USC to make a big move this year. I have them winning against Oregon in the Pac-12 championship game. Not because I hate you guys, but because I hate you guys.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, hey, dude, there's a lot of heat and clout and everything right now going behind USC, and that's exactly what I think is going to happen.
I get it. I think it takes more time in college football. In like college basketball, you can flip a team in 1 year. I think college football, it takes more than 1 year. It takes more. And Caleb Williams will be back next year because he's only a sophomore. So he'll be back for a junior year. And I think next year is really the year I'm concerned as an Oregon fan. But this year I don't see it because that defense lost a lot and didn't really get anything. They got some pieces that's like, okay, next year, maybe the year after, those guys are going to contribute. Recruiting class-wise, those guys can contribute. But this year, I think they still need a lot of work. That offense is obviously going to be electric. It's Lincoln Riley calling the offense with Caleb Williams, Mario Williams, Jordan Addison, a good running back. Like they have a great tight end.
I think their offense is going to be too nasty where it doesn't matter about their defense.
My thing is just that getting there is the problem. They have to play UCLA on the road, which is not really on the road. It's USC and UCLA. Yeah. They're like 50 miles apart from each other.
Yeah.
But Oregon has such a cakewalk after the Georgia game, excluding Utah. But that game's at home. They don't play anybody tough in the Pac-12 North. The Pac-12 South is a lot more of dog-eat-dog. As far as normally the Pac-12 beats the fuck up out of each other. I don't think the North is going to do that to Oregon this year. So it's going to be interesting to see. And they don't play a tough Pac-12 South schedule this year.
Yeah, and I'm liking our defense, and that's why I took Oregon over USC. One, because apparently in Tim's books, if you rationally think that your team might lose, you're not a fan anymore. So I'm taking Oregon either way.
Hey, remember last year when Tim and I were like, there's no chance Oregon covers against Ohio State?
And we won.
And we won.
You guys were over at the house for that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think their defense is what's going to win them that game against USC. for the Pac-12 championship.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the defense.
I think I have it playing out very similar to 2019 with Justin Herbert's senior year, when we beat them in the regular season and then just walked all over them in the Pac-12 championship game. Everyone was like, ooh, are they going to do it again? Are they going to be able to beat them? And we absolutely just dog-walked them the entire game. Kayvon Thibodeau in his freshman year blocked a fucking punt, had like a sack, sack and a half.
So excited to watch him.
Yeah,
play.
CJ Verdell ran all over them. Like, Herbert lit it up. I think that's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, I have way higher expectations than most people, but that's what I'm hoping for. All right. So we have Oregon, USC.
Yep.
For the Pac-12. SEC, 2 clear favorites.
Yeah.
Timmy, why don't you kick us off on SEC?
Yeah, SEC East, Georgia. That's it. That's the only team. SEC West. That's where it gets a little bit interesting. Obviously, it's gonna be Bama that wins it. However, Texas A&M, number 1 recruiting class, could get a little bit interesting. Maybe they beat Bama. I wanted to put LSU in here, but they're just not ready yet. They're just not that team yet. They're working towards it again.
But Brian Kelly has a Southern accent after living in LSU for a month.
However, Brian Kelly is an amazing college coach. I think he's going to do great things in LSU. But again, LSU's just not there yet. Texas A&M is what is worrying me. Not that they're going to beat Bama. I think Bama wins the entire SEC this year. But look for Texas A&M with the number 1 recruiting class to get very interesting in the next year or two with Bama. Maybe they start competing with them and actually playing them very tough, and then maybe every once in a while Texas A&M beats Bama. But right now, Bama's going to win that division. Georgia, I just like a lot of Georgia quarterbacks aren't amazing. They're great in college, but Stetson Bennett, I don't think he's necessarily that quarterback. Now, he won him a natty, and that's fucking awesome. I love that Georgia won it. However, I think Bryce Young is just going to go out and just be the quarterback that he's supposed to be and win Bama a title. Maybe. Because
We're going to talk about it.
we'll talk about it. However, Bama wins the SEC this year.
Okay. Plays Georgia in the SEC championship, gets that
Yes.
one. Okay.
Yes. I think it's going to be a rematch of the championship, and I think Alabama smokes them.
Smokes them is interesting.
I think it smokes them.
I don't think they smoke them,
I
but
think they
They
smoke
did
them.
smoke them last year, but in the SEC championship game.
I think they smoke them.
Interesting.
okay.
So I obviously have Georgia winning the SEC East as well, right? East?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, SEC East. The only team that maybe is competitive is Florida, but I think they lose week 1 to Utah, and then probably lose a couple games in the SEC, and they'll finish like 8-4. I think they play Bama. No, I don't think they play Bama. By the way, I don't think they win like 8 games. And the only reason I'm getting to like 8 is because Anthony Richardson is supposed to be a top quarterback prospect for the draft next year. And if you're that guy, you should get your team to 8 wins. Yep. Even in the SEC, that's 3 out of 4 non-conference. You just got to win 5 out of your 8 in conference. Like, you can do that.
Yeah.
But that's the only team that's going to come close. In the SEC West, obviously I have Alabama going 12-0. My second team is Ole Miss. Just like last year. Ole Miss, very talented team. Lane Kiffin, fantastic coach, draws up amazing offensive schemes. They lose Matt Corral, which is a tough look because Matt Corral had like all the touchdowns for them. They bring in Jackson Dart, who was a USC commit at quarterback. Here's the thing with USC: they had like 3 5-star quarterbacks from the same recruiting class. I don't know why they all committed to go play at USC, but they did. And then they brought in Caleb Williams, and all 3 of them went, all right, well, fuck this. And they all left.
Yeah.
So Jackson Dart is one of those guys out of Utah, ends up at Ole Miss. Not like the same quarterback as Matt Corral, but dual threat, can scramble a little bit, probably get something on the run. Great arm.
Where did Corral go?
The Panthers.
It's the Panthers?
Yeah. Third round? Second quarterback off the board, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And then they also bring in Zach Evans. And Zach Evans was a 2-year guy at TCU. Took him forever to commit out of high school. People kind of forgot about him. He was the number 1 running back coming out of high school in 2019, I believe. 2020 was his first year. He got like 90 carries. Last year he got like 90 carries. Gets like 4.5, 5 touchdowns a year. Didn't get a lot of touches at TCU. I'm sure he's going to play a bigger role for Ole Miss, and he'll replace a guy like Snoop Connor that just left Ole Miss. I just trust Lane Kiffin to drop some great offensive schemes. And even though the defense might not be 100% there, and in the SEC, that is make or break. If you have a great defense, you're going to win. If you don't, you're going to lose. It's that simple. I think his offensive scheme is going to be enough to win them enough games. I have him going 10-2, which is the second best record in the SEC. Obviously, not enough to touch Alabama. I think Alabama wins that game in a close one, just like they did 2 years ago. It's going to be closer than people think, but Alabama will win that game. Georgia obviously is going to finish and win the SEC East, and it'll be Alabama, Georgia. I also have Alabama winning, finishing the conference at 13-0. I think it'll be close. I think the difference is that Alabama's solid at every position group. Not amazing at any position group other than quarterback, but they're solid everywhere else. And Georgia has a few holes that I see that Alabama can take advantage of in that SEC championship game.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like with college, like I understand that you got people, you have people in the pipeline, right? You have the people that's going to be replacing because you know that you're losing your talent every few years. But I mean, Georgia just had 16 players get drafted. I mean,
and they lost most. You want
a
to
hard thing.
Yeah, try guy Tim is a massive stud, by the way. Sorry. I agree with you 100%.
God damn.
And Georgia did lose a lot.
Yeah, but guess what? They have the number 3 recruiting class. Got five-star guys, 17 4-star guys coming in. They've got the number 2 defensive lineman. They got the number 1 athletic player coming in Malachi Starks. Number 3 edge rusher. Number 5 quarterback. Number 6 cornerback. Like they just reloaded, just like Bama does, just like all of them do.
And that's what I'm saying. They have that pipeline stocked, but I think it's going to take more than just 1 year of the chemistry.
But the thing is,
merge together.
Georgia has like 3 guys on the defense this year that are going to be first-round picks again.
Because they were freshmen last year.
Like
sophomores last year. You know what I mean? Like it's just disgusting.
Holy shit!
They have
bro. Georgia allowed 66 points last season.
Yeah, they
in
average,
conference.
Yeah, they
in conference.
Total.
Yeah, total is 153
Okay.
What?
points allowed.
Okay.
Georgia last year.
No, they played amazing defense. They're going to play amazing defense again. I think they lost a little bit more in the secondary than they've recovered, but their D-line, their linebacking core is going to be right there. I just have questions about their wide receiver room and about their DBs that I think Alabama can take advantage of both of. So that's why I have Alabama winning the SEC. Yeah. Okay, group of 5, you guys don't have anybody for group of 5. I looked at it. I put like 4 teams on here to look at. It's Notre Dame, Cincy, BYU, and Houston, and I think they all go 9-3 except for Houston. I think Houston can go 10-2 in the American, and that means they're ranked like 22nd.
I mean, they'll probably be ranked like fucking like 17th or 15th, but
but
it'll just be
yeah.
like,
it's like,
you
hey,
were there last year.
Sure,
It's just numbers.
It's,
Hey,
they're
you
going to
really
start
good record.
high, but I mean, I don't think college football playoff rankings care about that. Like AP poll, they'll probably finish like 15. I think college football playoff, they're like, why are you here?
Yeah, like, oh, we don't even consider you. Right
Yeah,
now.
you don't matter to us. So Houston can go 10-2, but it's not going to be an impactful 10-2. BYU plays like the most big time games out of those group of 5 teams. Notre Dame obviously has theirs. I think they'll lose to USC because it's in USC. I think they'll lose to Clemson. I think they play BYU. Like probably beat BYU. Cool, that's cool. But yeah, there's no group of 5 team this year. As opposed to the last couple of years where there's that team trying to make a push. I don't see anybody like that coming through.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at some college football playoff predictions.
Okay.
I did my 1 through 6 for guys that are just missing out, but if you guys have 1 through 4, that's plenty. Kyle, I want to hear your college football playoff predictions.
All right, so my college football playoffs.
I feel like we should all have the same number 1.
It's Alabama. I'm not necessarily in order, but I really like Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I'm going to throw them in there. We'll throw in. I guess we'll throw in. Hold on, let me pull up my list real quick.
Here, I'll just go ahead while you.
Yeah,
look.
I'm trying to do it off my dome.
Mine, number 1, Ohio State. They're going to finish number 1. They're going to go undefeated the entire, just like Bama. But I think college football playoffs because it's to Ohio State. Number 2, Bama. Number 3, Georgia. Number 4, USC. Winner is Ohio State.
So you have Bama playing Georgia in the first round after they play in the SEC championship game?
Yep.
I don't think they'll do that.
Okay. Move USC up to 3. Fuck it.
That's fine. I'm okay. I agree with you. I think.
I
know you don't have USC in there, and I know you're going to have somebody else in there, and that's fine.
But I have like the same concept as you. I just think that Georgia and Alabama, it's the same reason why last year they didn't do it. Because last year it should have been Bama 1, Georgia 4, but they had Georgia at 3 because they were like, well, we can't have them play again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
But regardless, who'd you have winning?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay. What do you have any?
Well, no, I just don't know who to put in for the 4 spot because I also have Georgia, but I'm like I just don't know.
Because you have Bama, Ohio State, Georgia. Yeah.
Clemson will win the ACC, so they have a very good. I put at number 3 Clemson or Georgia, but I'm putting Georgia in there because their only loss is going to be in the SEC championship game against Bama,
just like last year.
Like Logan said, I think Clemson has the ability to lose 1 or 2 games stupidly, but they'll lose 1 or 2 games.
Yeah. So
that's fair.
Just like Kyle, I have Bama at 1. I think if they go 13-0 and win the SEC championship game against Georgia, who will probably be 2 or 3 at the time they play, that's going to mean more than Ohio State beating 18-19 Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game. So I have Bama going at 1. I do have Ohio State at 2 because, again, they're going to be 13-0. Those are the only 2 undefeated teams. They have to be 1-2. At 3, I also have Georgia because, again, just like last year, where you can't have them at 4 and have them play Bama again. And I don't realistically think you can knock them out of the entire college football playoff when their only loss is to the number 1 team in the country, especially if it's close. And last year it wasn't close, and they still kept them at 3.
And they ended up winning.
Exactly. My 4 is going to be Oregon, obviously biased because I have them winning the Pac-12, but Tim had USC in there as the Pac-12 winner. I think Oklahoma and Clemson are also good contenders. I have Oklahoma at my 5, Clemson at my 6, because I do think Clemson probably maybe loses 2 games. Like maybe they drop one of those games against Miami or NC State, and they finish at like 10-2, and then finish at 11-2 after the conference championship, and that's not enough to get you into the college football playoff. With Oklahoma, same kind of deal. I think they'll finish same record as Oregon, finish at that 12-1. But I think Oregon having, especially if they play close against Georgia, beat Utah twice, that's more meaningful than beating Baylor and Oklahoma State and maybe Texas, but maybe they lose to Texas. I don't know. So I have Oregon as my 4, so I have Bama and Oregon, and we'll lose by a lot. By a lot to Alabama. I have Ohio State, Georgia, though, and I think that would be so much fun to watch. Ohio State, Georgia. I think Ohio State wins that game because offensively they can take advantage more of defense of Georgia's weakness in the secondary. And I think that their front line can put more pressure, and Ohio State's biggest weakness on defense is that secondary, and Georgia doesn't have the wide receiver core to take advantage of it. So I just think Ohio State matches up better against that. I have Alabama, Ohio State, and I have Alabama winning the whole thing.
You're the stupidest person in the world.
So I have Alabama winning the whole thing because
I'm not an Ohio State fan.
Because as much as I love Ohio State this year, and I think their offense is going to be the most fun offense in all of football, and it's going to light up every weekend, Alabama is not weak at any position group. I would say Ohio State and Alabama match up exactly even at quarterback. That's why Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud are 1-2 for quarterbacks, depending on who you ask. Wide receiver room is obviously Ohio State. Running back room is obviously Ohio State. But the entire defense I give to Alabama. Defensive line, they have Will Anderson, who's going to be a top 2 or 3 pick on a bad day because he was competing for the Heisman last year and he came back as a D end. Linebacker room, they have 2 guys. One that's definitely a first rounder, a guy that also could be a first rounder in Dallas Turner. And then in the secondary, they have 2 of the best corners in the country in Kool-Aid McKinstry and Elias Ricks. And Elias Ricks is probably the best corner in the country, period. That's going to be not lock down Ohio State, but it's going to do more against Ohio State's offense than Ohio State's weak secondary against Alabama's pretty good wide receiver room. Alabama's just solid everywhere. I can't find a weakness in that team, and I can't pick against a team that I can't find a weakness in.
No, that's fair. I pretty much have the same exact outcome, again, just with that 4. I mean, if Oregon does go ahead and win the Pac-12, then I think they get in there. But if they don't, it's going to be one of those ones that just rotates. Like you guys say every year, right? It's always the top 3. It always has one rotate out. And this year, I think it's going to be Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia. And that 4th spot rotates. Doesn't matter who fills that 4th spot, Alabama will beat. And then I also agree that Ohio State's going to beat Georgia. And then it'll be Alabama and Ohio State. And that will be really fun. I was going to say I like Ohio State's offense more, but then you start talking about Alabama's defense, and I'm like, but I would like to see Ohio State win.
Okay, because I was gonna say that you were gonna be the new stupidest person in the world if you picked Bama, and then Logan was gonna be number 2 just because Logan has the knowledge. But since you said Ohio State, you might be the smartest person in the world.
No, yeah,
I want to see Ohio State
I
win.
think it'll be fun. Yeah,
I love that
it'll be fun.
offense. I want to see it light at the scoreboard. I just don't know if it can do it against an SEC defense in Alabama.
And last year in the championship game, wasn't Alabama winning too before what's his face got injured? Jameson Williams.
In the Natty?
No, they weren't winning yet.
It was closer.
No. Did they have him in the Natty?
Or was it in the SEC championship game that he got
I
hurt?
think it was the SEC championship game.
I think it was the SEC championship
and
game
they
he got
played the
hurt.
whole game without him.
Yeah, but they were also
They were losing to Georgia at that time.
Alabama was beating the shit out of Georgia the entire game.
Oh, okay.
So in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, in the championship game.
And then in the actual national championship, Georgia's defense played way better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was in good old Africa while that game was happening.
yeah. And I think I don't want to see another Alabama Georgia national championship game, right? I don't think anybody wants to see that again. Like we saw it when it was electric and Devontae Smith won that game for Alabama, and we saw it last year when Georgia got their revenge, and I'm cool with that. I don't want to see Alabama and Georgia play each other twice a year.
At least for another year.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I don't know if they'll be back there because I mean Georgia has top quarterback recruit, and Bama's always going to be there, and you never know with Ohio State, but
that's why there just needs to be more teams.
I want a 16-team playoff. I want more opportunities for other teams to upset somebody early on. And now it's okay. Georgia probably could have been in the national championship game.
16 is too much.
Okay, then make it 8.
I was going to say
8's the sweet spot.
I was going to say NFL, just 12, right? 6 and 6.
No, it's
with a couple bye weeks,
but it's 7 and 7.
It's 4 and then 2 wild cards. Now it's 7 and 7. Yeah.
Which you can't. I don't think you can realistically do that in college football. You can't give a team a bye week. Like that's not fair.
That's why it should be 8, 5 Power 5 teams, and then 3 wild cards.
The 5 champions and then 3 wild cards.
And then 3.
It'll be 3 probably Power 5 teams too.
No,
yeah, maybe you'll see.
Yeah, but still, yeah.
But
throw
then
in
you
the
might
Sparks.
have like
a Cincinnati or a UCF,
or a Boise State back in the day who played in Fiesta against Oklahoma. Maybe
Boise State also played in Natties.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like you'll have a team like that occasionally. I agree with that.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You might have one little team floating there.
But
all right.
It adds fun.
So me and Kyle got Ohio State winning the entire goddamn thing, and Logan's got Bama. And
we all have the same matchup though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bama versus Ohio State.
Yeah. We all have the same Final Four, right?
Yeah. No. I have USC going to the playoffs.
Oh no!
I have Oregon. You don't have a 4 really.
Sorry, I was gonna say you have 1, 2.
I have
3,
Ohio State beating USC 85-40.
But you have Ohio State as number 1.
Yeah.
And Bama and Georgia.
2 of us have the same 1.
And I understand what you guys are saying is that Bama's going to be able to beat Georgia, which is going to be a top 4 team going into that SEC championship game. That's going to give Bama the number 1.
And realistically, it's just like last year when we got to that final week and I gave my predictions for what that Final Four would look like. It's going to be the same 4 teams. What order they're in does not matter. Last year it was Georgia was going to play Michigan and Alabama was going to play Cincinnati. Whether you wanted to put Michigan at 1 and have Georgia at 4 and then have Bama and Cincy 2 and 3, or you wanted to put Bama at 1 and Michigan at 2 and then Georgia at 3 and Cincy at 4, you're getting the same matchups. It does not matter what they're ranked. You're getting the same matchups. We're getting the same national championship game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Guys, that wraps it up for the college football talk and everything else, right?
Yep.
Let's go into boom and bust. Kyle, how many you got?
2 and 2.
No way.
Dos y dos.
This motherfucker's got 1 and 3.
I got 1 and 3.
This motherfucker.
I know, dude. That's 2 weeks in a row that I failed on my own thing.
Your own rule that you set up for us?
Yeah. I didn't set up the rule. You guys were allowed to have whatever. I just get mad at you guys.
Dude, you were very about it.
Whoa.
You were very about it, dude.
All right. All
right, first boom. Yeah, I'll go. Patty the Batty. I don't know if you guys watched the post-fight interview.
Yeah.
When we talked about mental health, just really went into there. Hours before the weigh-ins on Friday, he found out that one of his buddies back home had killed himself and didn't mention it, didn't say anything about it, went, still trained, fought, won the fight, and then was like, hey, guys, I was going through some shit. And, just said, hey, I'd rather have my friend cry on my shoulder than go to his funeral next week. So Just him using the platform that he has to talk about mental health. Yeah, good on you.
Yep, love that. My first boom is going to be Sydney McLaughlin, the greatest 400-meter sprinter in the history of the world. So she shattered her own record in the 400-meter hurdles at the World Athletics Championship. No one comes close to her, and it's hurdles. That's not only are you running 400 meters, you're also hurdling like fucking 50 hurdles along the way. It's very impressive. Then she was the anchor in the 4x400 relay and helped carry us to gold by a lot. It was a very large distance between us and second place. She's easily the greatest 400-meter sprinter of all time, in my opinion, as far as just shattering her own records. Every competition.
Another one.
Yeah. Maybe Usain Bolt, but like, yeah, that's 100.
I thought you were talking about women's. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean 400 though, like 400.
Okay.
Like Usain Bolt 100 meter, that's fantastic. Running a 400 is different, especially when you involve hurdles. She's just absolutely looks like the most dominant track athlete for at least the United States right now. So big boom to her.
Fuck yeah.
Right on. My first boom is strip clubs.
Yep.
Yeah. Strip clubs. Because they're turning a new leaf. Former strip club is transformed into a Christian school.
They're going to find some weird things.
It's a transformation for the books.
Yeah.
A former strip club, once located along Highway 33, and who gives a shit, is now the place to the Azawaki Christian school. We knew somewhere, sometime, God will provide us just the right one, and he did. Said the head of Christian school, Chris Austin. You're damn right. Hope you kept those stripper poles in there for them Christian girls.
They got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, dude, if you wanted them to find the holy path of righteousness,
they're being immediately thrown into temptation, and if they can make it through, nothing's going to phase them.
You think
Nothing will phase them.
Do you think they're turning the poles into crosses?
Just take one pole off and just throw it along.
And then just spinning crosses?
There'd be some sick dances on those crosses.
Yeah.
For the Lord.
For the Lord.
All right, Kyle, second boom.
Second boom is going to be Gerwin Price.
Gerwin.
Yeah. Throws a flawless leg in World Darts match play. Hit a perfect 9-dart leg for the dub. Went 3 triple 20s, which is 180. And then a second turn went 3 triple 20s, which is 180. So he's down 360. So he only needs, 141 left. And then hits a triple 19 for 57, a triple 20 for the 60, and then a double 12 to hit a perfect 501 and 9 darts.
Nice.
What a fucking phenom, dude.
That's ridiculous.
What a fucking phenom.
It's electric. Watching darts is so much fun. People lose their minds.
Dude.
And I also lose my mind, but it's just great watching a guy. You go to a bar and a guy throws darts, it's not the same.
No.
Usually, like I can throw darts, and I can usually if I play darts with someone, we do the thing where you go 1 to 20, and then you try to hit the 3 bullseyes, and I can do it. It's gonna take me a while, so I'll probably lose, but I can get it, But I can't do the darts is a different thing where they're playing
hitting that small triple 20 over and over and over again.
Right.
No,
it's just
couldn't do it.
What Jesus, dude? Yeah. I can hit my triple 20. Don't get me wrong. However, it's gonna take me 80 darts.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with darts is that if I can play long enough, then I can get it down to where my 3 are pretty bunched. But now I'm not saying they're gonna be bunched where I want them to be.
Yeah.
But I'm consistent with my throws.
Yes.
So I do like playing darts.
Yes. All right. My second boom is going to be Steph Curry. I know we roasted on him for his ESPYs hosting performance.
It wasn't that good.
Wasn't that good. The one thing I did take from it, it was against my own team, but it was a solid line. After Grant Williams came out and said that, the Celtics were the better team than the Warriors. That's what he said. We just don't turn the ball over as much and we make more shots. We probably win the finals. Sit down, please. Don't talk. You don't start, let alone have any say in this at all. But I did appreciate Steph immediately responding and saying that he would maybe let Grant Williams wear one of his rings. That's such a I'll let you wear one, just to make you feel better, since you think you should have won anyways. It's just a when you have many rings and finals MVP and multiple MVPs, it's easy to just be like, okay, kid.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Sit down, buddy.
Yeah. All right, Tim, first bust.
First bust is parking tickets.
Always
Huge bust. However, big bust to this one guy in San Francisco. Didn't get his name in this article, but he gets a red zone parking ticket after the curb was repainted while his car was already parked
That's
there.
not fair. That's a bust to the parking lot enforcers.
No, man. Absolutely just fucking boned this dude. San Francisco man was is fighting a ticket for parking in a red zone after the curb was repainted red while his car was parked in the spot. So it was painted red. Immediately came in, gave him a ticket, and then he was like, whoa, this was not red. And turns out, yes, it wasn't red. They repainted it while his car was
Should have kept an eye on your car, dumbass.
My God, dude.
That's tough.
That's fucked up, man.
Dude, so
I'd punch whoever gave me that ticket.
big bust to parking tickets. And just people.
Well, it's funny because that guy probably didn't even know. He's like, oh, another fucker parked in the red.
Yeah, that guy didn't know they just painted it. But man, that paint looks fresh.
Well, I don't think he painted it and then wrote the ticket.
No, exactly. I'm saying, but like him showing up and being like, man.
No, yeah.
You know what? No, but yeah, but you know what? You know what that guy could have done? Repainted it white.
And then taking a picture and be like, dude, it's not red.
Why'd I get the ticket? I love that. All right, Kyle, first bust.
Red Sox.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a bold choice.
Yeah, I was about to put him on here, but I knew one of you guys would.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go with the full score because it didn't hurt as bad as the 25-3 in the fifth inning to Toronto Blue Jays. I think they finished like 30-5 or something.
That's
like that?
28-5, I think.
28-5. Yeah, not as bad as 25-3 in the fifth. So
Not as bad. Also, Chad texted me and he was like, "How about them Red Sox?" And I said, I think we should go for the record. Then I looked up the record, and the Rangers, I think, have biggest. I think it's win. I think they were on the winning side.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'd love to take that from Chad.
because what
would
what
love-
was the record? 28-3.
I think it's 28-3. And I was like, I would love if my Red Sox just took that from Chad's team. And we were just like, oh, you guys won 28-3. Guess what? We lost 29-3. Now you don't have that record anymore.
Yeah, because everyone would look back and be like, oh, that's a big loss, but that's not the record. Well, let's look at this one.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted it so bad. You have it as a bust. I called it neutral because because I didn't have to watch past the third inning. I was like, cool. I know how this game's turning out.
I called it neutral.
Yeah,
Hey, man.
it's bad loss, but I also didn't have to
each
waste
their own.
3 hours of my life.
everything, man.
Each
Perspective
their
is
own.
everything.
Each their own.
All right, what's your first bust?
North Carolina, just UNC, not like the
Shocker.
state. Yeah, obviously they had arguably #1 player in the country committed to play for them next year. Guess what? Decommitted.
Where's he going?
South Carolina. Reclassified, going to South Carolina, gonna immediately get playing time. Probably be a top 5 pick in next year's draft.
Is it basketball, football? What is
Basketball.
It okay.
North Carolina would never compete for a top 5 recruit in football.
Yeah, you fucking idiot.
Okay.
No. But I think it's very fitting for North Carolina to have a top, or probably like the best recruit they've ever had. I think it's like second best in like actual rankings history, and have him go, I'm not gonna get playing time my freshman year. He wanted to reclassify anyways to play this year, and if he did, he would have rode bench the entire year. They were like, you're not gonna start because North Carolina values a bunch of guys that will never make it to the NBA over having a shit ton of talent that
Young, raw
brings
talent.
more guys to your school. Realistically, that's what matters. Cool, you compete for national titles and you blow a historic lead in a national championship game, and you had no one from your team drafted. Good for you. You
Yeah.
brought back all your starters because they have no future in the NBA.
Yeah.
It's cool. Why would I want to play for your fucking school?
Yeah.
I just think it's very fitting that he was like, I could go there and not play, and then have to sit 2 years, or play like 2 or 3 years, maybe make an NBA roster after that. Not get drafted, but like maybe go undrafted and make
Yeah.
an NBA roster. Or I could just go to South Carolina and play like on a dog shit team and dominate and be a top 5 draft pick and then move on with my life and get paid millions of dollars. So good to you, Gigi Jackson, and go fuck yourself in North Carolina.
Fuck yeah.
Timmy, second bust.
Okay. Space.
Bust of space. It's so big.
Space is huge bust. NASA scientist explains why astronauts should not masturbate in zero gravity. You can't
Even
jerk
in
off.
the space station.
No, you can't. You can't do it.
Your dick
You
just gonna
can't do it.
fly off.
So these astronauts are there for a while, right? And they can't jerk off.
Oh, they're wet dreams galore.
Astronauts have been warned against masturbating in space over fears female astronauts could get impregnated by stray swimmers. There are strict guidelines over alone time on board in zero gravity. Scientists have warned even the slightest rogue droplet, pre-cum,
Just one sperm.
could cause chaos on board. Late night TV host Conan O'Brien waded into an uncomfortable topic while interviewing a NASA engineer, asking him if he had ever sent porn to the International Space Station. No, none of that, the scientist Smith said. Does porn work in zero gravity? It goes everywhere. Conan probed. These female astronauts can be impregnated by the same man on the same session if it finds its way, the scientist concluded. Sex and masturbation in space is a logistical nightmare with problems ranging from floating fluids to shrinking manhoods, according to U.S. astronomer Dr. John Mills.
No.
He compared sex in space to having intercourse while skydiving, but added that it was not impossible.
Not as cool either.
Presumably, cosmonauts had this in mind when... Oh, okay. I'm just getting into dumb
sure.
shit. However, so space. Never going into space because I jerk off often. I couldn't go 1 month.
I mean, you just
No, Logan.
No. I'm saying like you're not allowed to. It's like no. I'm not saying like no. I'm saying like well, why is it really that drastic? Of like you could impregnate? Are they just like chilling there with no spacesuit, just naked?
Right.
That was my thought.
I'm like, how would it get there? That's like if
And
if you
so
pull
it
out,
just stays alive. It just stays alive the whole time.
Well, are you alive in zero gravity? Yeah, you're just floating around.
Yeah, but
If it's how long does it have to be floating in empty space? Does it just live forever?
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, is it like a roach?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Are sperm like roaches?
Yeah, because if you just shoot it on the table, come back tomorrow, that shit ain't gonna make no baby.
You don't know that.
Pretty positive.
You're probably right.
Outside a male's body, sperm can die within a few minutes. So what's the real issue here? Unless you're doing it directly onto somebody.
Hey, ladies, lay down. I'm not going to try to impregnate you, but I'm going to sperm, and then hopefully that 3 swimmers go zero gravity into your guys'
Especially after a month, dude. All 4 pregnant at the same time.
Okay, either way,
spraying
space,
that thing
dude.
like a
No,
hose.
look, dude. If there's guidelines and I can't jerk off in space, dude, space is a huge
Yeah,
bust.
that's rough.
I'm not going to space.
What are they gonna do once I'm up there?
Also,
If you
yeah.
jerk off, are you no longer an astronaut?
What, is there
They
cameras
just send
ever?
you back down.
It's like, all right,
Call
guys,
the mission
whole
off.
mission's off. Come back.
Bring the thing back.
God damn it, Kyle.
Kyle's second bust.
All right, the Raiders. Former Raiders 2020 first round pick Damon Arnett has been arrested.
Again?
Yeah,
For the same thing.
no, possession of controlled substance, possession of drugs, and driving on a suspended license. He had last spent time with the Chiefs before he was arrested in Las Vegas back then for allegedly pointing a gun at a valet person in January.
And he went on Instagram and was like, I'll kill people.
Yeah,
They were like,
yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah, and was making like pretty much threats on social media. But yeah, driving on I mean,
To just go to the DMV.
NFL.
Like, just go to the fucking DMV, and they're probably not going to get you on any other charges. But you know how stupid it is
NFL.
to get so many other charges because your license was suspended? Come
in
on,
the
dude.
NFL. This isn't like a 22-year-old working at Kinko's. You're an NFL player, and you can't just go get your fucking license renewed? What the fuck, dude?
Have your agent do that type of shit.
Yeah.
And also it's suspended. I just realized that, not expired. So something probably happened to where he got suspended.
Well, yeah, it probably has to deal with his other charges.
Drugs
that he
and
has.
driving intoxicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he's just a wreck all
Don't
around.
drive. You make so much money. Have one of your friends drive.
Yeah, Bert Kreischer.
Hire anybody to drive you.
Bert Kreischer
Get an Uber.
rarely ever drives because he's always drinking, so he always has an Uber.
No, that's fair.
Because he's fucking rich and he can afford it.
Know yourself. I'm not good enough to drive ever in my life.
Dude, if I was filthy rich, you best believe
Yeah.
I would have someone driving me at all times so I could drink at all times.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, my second bust, sticking with the Raiders theme, is Devontae Adams. Recent comments from Devontae Adams when asked about switching from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. His quote was, "Anytime you change quarterbacks from Hall of Famer to Hall of Famer."
Sorry, Chad.
It's going to be a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah. I saw that.
Was asked
Huge bust, Devontae.
was asked to clarify those comments afterwards, and he said, "Listen, I missed a big word." He said, "I missed the word even." So even if you were to change quarterbacks from a Hall of Famer to a Hall of Famer, there's going to be an adjustment, which is a fair statement, right? Even if I'm switching from the first best to the second best, there's an adjustment. My problem is he went on to clarify his comments in the most insulting way possible to Derek Carr. He said, "But why isn't Derek Carr a Hall of Famer? Does he have the MVPs? No. Does he have Super Bowl wins? No. But we're working towards that."
Oh, Devontae.
So in Devontae Adams' mind, every quarterback is a Hall of Famer. Because they're all may not have MVPs.
Until proven otherwise.
Until he retires without an MVP and without a Super Bowl win, how can you say he's not a Hall of Famer?
Oh, man.
So Devontae, I get sticking up for your guy, man, but there's a line.
It was a backtrack defending.
It made it worse.
Yeah.
It was. If he would have doubled down on it, I would have given him respect. If he would have been like, if he wouldn't have clarified with, does he have MVPs? Does he have Super Bowls? If he would have been like, listen, I know how good this guy is, and I know what we can do together, and I'm calling it now. This guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I'd be like, you know what, fucking go all in, bud. But saying like, well, he hasn't done anything yet to show he's a Hall of Famer, but like, I think I can carry him there.
Pretty much.
Hopefully.
That's what he was saying.
So yeah. Timmy, last bust.
Final bust is going to be Ricky Fowler. Again, he's been my bust a lot this year, but for good reason this time. He just played in the 3AM Open. Last week, he was ranked 129th in the FedEx Cup. You got to get in the 125. Just had to play a decent tournament, get in the top 25. My guy, guess what? Dude, he dropped 3 spots. He's at 132 now.
Oh, no.
He's playing this week in the final event, the Rocket Mortgage Clashes. Let's see if he can get it done. Get in the top 125. I mean, I would assume
top 5.
That would help.
Top 10, probably top 15.
No, I'd say top 25 will get him in there. But it's just a matter of he didn't play a bad tournament. I mean, he did. He finished -3. He finished like tied for 38th. But he's playing this week, final event of the PGA Tour season. Please get it done, Ricky Fowler. And they did mention something in the 3M Open when I was watching it because Ricky Fowler was one of like the featured players in that tournament because there wasn't a bunch. It was like Tony Finau, Ricky Fowler, stuff like that. But again, he's one of the biggest players in that tournament, and you can't finish in like the top 25. But I saw a lot of good things about Ricky Fowler's game. Not that he's going to do anything in the Rocket Mortgage class. Maybe he doesn't make the cut. However, during that 3M Open, he looked a lot more comfortable in his swing, so I was excited about that. But they were saying that a lot of the players right now that are in the top 25 are technically suspended, like Dustin Johnson, Brooks Koepka, and stuff. So there's going to be extra spots. So you realistically got to look at like the top 130 to get in around. But right now he was ranked 129 last week, and he couldn't even go up 1 spot. So it's kind of like, fuck, dude, you couldn't go up to 128, like. Come on, man. Come on. But Ricky Fowler, bust. I mean, you just had to shoot 10 over for the tournament, and you probably would have been at 125, and then just make the cut at the Rocket Mortgage, and then you're in the playoffs. Not saying that he's going to do anything in the playoffs.
Just make it.
But just make it. Just make it in the playoffs, and that would make me happy. I don't care what you do in the BMW Championship or the FedEx St. Jude, whatever the first one is. I think it's FedEx St. Jude. Yeah, FedEx St. Jude Championship. Just I don't care if you miss the cut in the FedEx St. Jude, but just at least you made the playoffs. You know, you can say you at least did that. for the season because you didn't play. You played in one major, and that's only because you got exempt into it. It's not even like you earned that spot. I mean, you did because you get exempt, so you earn that spot. But you know what I mean. But Ricky Feller, big bust. Let's see what you can do in the Rocket Mortgage and get there. But hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Episode 89. Next week, episode 90. Not nearly going to be as big as episode 100. We'll figure out something for episode 100.
Yeah, I got a couple ideas, but yeah.
All right. Hey, right on. We'll see you guys next week. Signing off. See you later.
Fuck. Someone was crawling back in my head. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And like you said, check you guys next week. Love you guys.
Thank you guys, as always, for the support. Next week, we will be doing our offensive draft. So we'll be doing a snake draft. We'll figure out how we're going to do the order here. But we're going to be going just through offense. The following week will be defense. And then we'll let us know who you think picked the best teams. And then after that, we just got more and more NFL content on the way. We're getting into the best time of year. So we'll catch you guys next week.